journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation. Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Blecker and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Blecker and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Looking for a job that feels like family? Join Lincoln Industries, where tradition meets innovation. They're a family-owned, privately held manufacturing company with a passion for excellence and a commitment to their community. They have openings on all shifts at both the main plant and Air Park facilities, offering flexibility to fit your schedule. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's a place for you there. At Lincoln Industries, they invest in their people's success, providing opportunities for growth and advancement. Apply now and become a part of something special at Lincoln Industries.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
It's, hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is a presentation of the 2024 NSAA State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. State baseball coverage is powered by Mullen Motors, Next Ag Appraisal and Realty, Members Owned Credit Union, Empire Fence and Netting, High Electric, and Union Bank and Trust. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert.
Welcome back into Warner Park. Appreciate DP Coach Ron Brown and Ben holding down the fort in the meantime as we get ready and turn our attention to Class A action. Just moments away here from number 1 Lincoln East, the defending Class A state champion, going up against the defending Class A runner-up in the number 2 seed, the Millard West Wildcats. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman, Ben, and back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Austin, man, you look up and down these rosters. 14 future college baseball players on Lincoln East's roster, plenty spread throughout the Millard West side as well. Obviously headlined by Tyson Lewis that we'll get to in a minute. But man, this is going to be a good one.
Nick, we love tournaments with chaos. We love seeing the underdog story pull through. That is absolutely not what we have here in Class A. And there's not a disappointed soul in the world. We have a rematch of last year's state title game between Lincoln East and Millard West. Arguably the two most talented teams in the state, top to bottom of the lineup, top to bottom of the roster. This is a matchup, if you look at seeding, obviously it's the first seed Lincoln East, the second seed Millard West. We were probably destined for this, and I'm glad we got it. It should be an extremely high-level baseball game between two teams that, with plenty of that college talent you mentioned, that have been here in the big moments before. We were treated to a great game in Class B. I'm hoping and expecting this one will be its equal.
Lincoln East has had an interesting trip to the Class A state championship. They had a scare back Friday morning against Millard North, the 8th seed. They had to take it to extra innings. Lincoln East won on a walk-off wild pitch, but since then, Lincoln East has been dominant. They beat Southwest 2-0 on an incredible outing from their pitcher. Then they were able to knock off Millard West by a score of 8-2 on Wednesday morning. So it's been relatively confident and comfortable since then. For Millard West, similar story for them as well. They escaped an upset-minded Elkhorn South squad, but then they were able to knock off Creighton Prep 8-2, and they beat Elkhorn South 9-2 on Wednesday afternoon, a game that was kind of delayed and then restart up again because of some rain delays in the afternoon. So this is going to be a really good one. We have plenty of names to tell you about, plenty of stories to talk to you about as well. They're just now picking the tarp up off of the field. Both teams have concluded their in and out sessions before the game, and that means that we are pretty close to first pitch. Let's talk about the starting pitchers really quickly. Lincoln East has so many arms that they're going to be able to go to throughout the course of the night. Millard West also in very good shape. Both of these teams, similar to in Class B where Norris was, they were 2-0. And so both of these teams not only didn't have to play an extra game because they beat the team that needed to beat them twice on the first game, but also they got yesterday off and they also had a bye earlier in the week as well. So both of these two teams were both in the driver's seat of their specific bracket. And man, this should be a good one. Starting on the mound for Millard West is going to be J.D. Moffitt, number 18, J.D. Moffitt on the year, 5-0 record, a 2.85 earned run average. And then on the mound for the Lincoln East Spartans, we're going to probably see a couple of arms that are talented across the board, but getting the start today is the future Husker, the Husker baseball commit, number 10, the senior, Carter Mick, 7-0 on the season, a 1.15 earned run average.
He's been electric, right? Maybe better last year than he was this year, but it's really no surprise that Lincoln East is turning to him. We know Paul Shortrich has had some success against Millard West in the past, but Nick, when you think about Lincoln East baseball, you think about the big moments. I think your mind still goes to Carter Mick. Been there, proven in some of these biggest moments. Lincoln East couldn't go wrong, right? We talked about the depth of pitching throughout the day. Lincoln East absolutely has it. I'm excited to see Carter Mick get the start against a talented Millard West lineup, see how he handles it.
And you look around at Warner Park here, it is packed, right? We have probably surpassed the 4,000 number.
Oh, easy.
I would imagine here at Warner Park, the sections surrounding the infield are packed to the brim, row for row. People are filling the stands. They've even extended past student sections down the third baseline, down the first baseline, all the way in the foul territory. It is a packed night here at Warner Park. Great spectacle for high school baseball as we see J.D. Moffitt and his catcher, Sam Kidd, make their way to the dugout from the center field bullpen. We're just moments away.
This is the cap to the season that I think Nebraska prep baseball deserves. It's been an awesome day. It's been an awesome season. I mean, we think about the stories we've seen here, right? Lincoln Northwest staying alive, the 5-run comeback from Blair over Elkhorn North. You think about all the drama in Class A as well, but the season deserves this result. It absolutely does. A rematch between the two best teams in the state. And hey, color on color matchup, right? The two best teams in the state, they know how to treat a guy.
Well, and here's the thing, right? You talk about the uniform matchup for both sides. For the Spartans, they'll be in the blue and white pinstripes, the blue jerseys with the white pinstripes, led by head coach Michael Lanik, as they have the Spartans across the chest with the white letters and numbers on the front left side, and then also on the back of their button-up jerseys. For the Millard West Wildcats, green jerseys with West across the chest in black and white lettering, but white numbers with black outline on the back of their jerseys. The white caps with the brim a separate color. It looks like it's a dark green color for them to match their jersey color with the white pants as well. So it's going to be a really good one. It's a beautiful night for baseball. Shadows may be something to watch here early on, as shadows covering just the pitcher's mound and home plate. Once you get in the infield, once you get past the cut of grass, no shadows, right? It is sunny here, not a single cloud in the sky up here in Papillion La Vista or Omaha, however you want to identify it at Warner Park, the home of the Omaha Storm Chasers. So once again, folks are still filing in. people standing on the concourse, people walking around the fun center back in left field. They have the outfield blocked off, which is why nobody's sitting out there in the berm area. But also, as always, the measurements for Warner Park, about 335 down each side, and then a 400 in center for the batter's eye. And so once again, the center field bullpen, the scoreboard in left center field, and we're just moments away from number 1 Lincoln East against number 2, the Millard West Wildcats. This is a rematch of last year's Class A state championship, where Lincoln East was able to win their first state championship in school history. They had been here 8 times last year. This is their 9th appearance. It was their first time in a state championship game last year, and they were victorious over the Millard West Wildcats.
And it was the first one, Nick, in Class A for a Lincoln school in, 50 years?
Yeah.
70 years.
That's
It had
right.
been a really long time for the city of Lincoln to get over that hump, right? I mean, I know Pius had bounced up and down between
Yes.
Class A and B when they got their titles. They were in the Class B ranks. Think of all the talented Lincoln Southeast teams, Lincoln Northeast teams that might have gotten to this stage but weren't able to get over the hump. An incredible accomplishment for this Lincoln East team that returns basically its whole core from last year. A lot of the key players are back. The teams are coming out of the dugouts. We're getting set for the national anthem. And, Nick, I'm so excited. This is going to be an awesome way to cap the season.
The hay is in the barn. We'll tell you about all the players because there's a lot of them that we'll try to give each one of them their justice, their due time as well. And just when they come up to the plate, when they make a play on the field, there's a lot of them that we want to talk about. This field is spread out wide with a lot of future Division I, of future MLB guys. There's plenty of them to talk about. We'll get to all that and more when we come back. We're going to pause for the national anthem, and the Class A state championship game is just a couple of minutes away from Warner Park. Appreciate you guys joining us wherever you may be. Thanks for your support of the Class A and B state baseball tournaments all week long. It's been a joy to have not only Austin here, Ben, Rico back in the studio. Appreciate them more than they'll ever know for pushing all the buttons and making sure you guys can hear us from Warner and Tal Anderson Field. We're stepping away. Warner Park Class A title game just around the corner on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Now you can pre-order EA Sports College Football 25 for the release date of July 19th.
Who would be your top 3 Huskers to put on the cover, past and present?
Tommy, Sue.
I would put Lawrence Phillips, me personally. I would put Tom Osborne on another one. I think that'd be good. And then I would put Dylan and Tommy back to back on the cover.
I love it.
How's that sound?
Before he takes his first snap.
Exactly.
That's right.
The past, the future.
That's right.
Passing the baton.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Nick Standard, Austin Norman back with you from Warner Park in Omaha, and holy smokes, National Anthem just wrapped up. And folks, as I'm looking around, looking down the first and third baseline in amazement, there are a lot of people here. This place is packed, and it's a really cool sight to see that this many folks came out, made the drive, obviously, from Lincoln, and then also a much shorter drive from Millard West or that area. But there's just a lot of general baseball fans here. And a big reason why, Austin Norman, Tyson Lewis, he just got announced on the screen, is playing his final game, might not be going to college, probably going to be drafted, is going to be drafted, probably going to elect to go the professional route as well.
One of the best players the state has ever seen. I feel comfortable saying that even before he, takes the field for his final game. Incredible hitter, really good defender, and by all accounts, a good dude, right? The heart and soul of this Millard West team. He'll be hitting leadoff for the Wildcats tonight. They're at the top of the order. Nick, he has the power, he has the speed, he has the range, he has the arm, and there's another tool, the speed in there, right? That's as 5 tool players you'll get in the Nebraska prep ranks.
We go up and down this Millard West order, and they are the visitors on the scoreboard as the 2 seed. So let's talk about the lineup, and it's loaded, right? You look at 3 of their first 4 guys, and let's just talk about it. We talked about Tyson Lewis. If he does elect to go the college route, he will be playing for Dave Van Horn and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Then you go after Tyson Lewis, and it's Nick Van Tyker. He doesn't have to go very far. He's going to be a Creighton Blue Jay next year. Valdivia in the cleanup spot, a Tulane Green Wave member coming next year. This lineup is stacked top to bottom, and this is not talking about Lincoln East in a bad way. This is speaking to the talent and just the insane ability that Millard West has today.
And we expect it out of Millard West, right? We've seen a number of guys go on to play Division I baseball from there. A couple recent examples headed to Nebraska include Colby Gomez and Max Anderson. Mm-hmm. It's a powerhouse program. It has been for a long time. You know the name Millard West. It resonates. Lincoln East is the newcomer on the scene, Nick. A little bit of a coaching change, and then the talent has steadily improved since then. They put it all together last year. It's the depth of talent for Lincoln East. And again, no slight to Millard West here, but their college talent, their next level talent resides really at the top of the order. So we'll see if those 4 guys really in the top half of that Wildcat lineup can carry them through, or if there's going to be a surprise hero at the bottom of the lineup for Millard West.
Now it's time to talk about the home team on the scoreboard, the defending Class A state champions, the Lincoln East Spartans. I mentioned it in our pregame conversation. 14 guys continuing their baseball-specific careers at a college or university. And let's start with the guy that just was introduced, Jeter Wordley, planning to play in Ann Arbor for the Michigan Wolverines. He gets the start at catcher today.
an interesting prospect as a catcher because he's so athletic. He hits leadoff. He gets on base. But, Nick, we saw it a couple times already this week. The kid can run.
Yeah.
He's got a good arm. Player you can always refine your pop time, your footwork, everything like that. But in terms of catching prospects in the state of Nebraska, let's just say there's a reason that he was the obvious, I think, top catcher in the state and going to a program like Michigan.
Well, and one thing about Jeter Worthley that what makes this Lincoln East team so dangerous is that this lineup that's lined up Worthley, Kai Berkey hitting second, AJ Avasco, Garrett Springer, Troy Peltz, is that if Jeter Worthley gets on base, that is one more body that the pitcher has to worry about. And I mean that in the most serious way possible. Jeter Worthley can make things happen on the base paths, which then takes away from the focus of the pitcher. The concentration is lessened. And guess what? That allows guys like AJ Avasco, Garrett Springer, Troy Peltz to tee off. And they've done so all season long. AJ
Avasco, high average. You look at Kai Berkey, hitting almost 400 on the year. You look at a guy like even Mason Gaines down the lineup, but Garrett Springer, about a 450 average. All of these guys drive in runs, right? Because they're on base constantly. The more often you can have guys on base creating havoc, that's what I think the upper level talent does, Nick, is because even if they're not stealing a base, they're always a threat to steal because every single one of them is athletic and can run. And then if they do decide to run, well, guess what? There's enough power in the lineup that all they need is a single, but we know these guys can drive the ball to the deepest parts of this ballpark.
AJ Avasco on Wednesday against Millard South in an 8-2 Lincoln East victory. AJ Avasco 3 for 3 with with a single in the first inning, a double in the second, a double in the fourth, and then he was hit by a pitch in the fifth. And then guess what? In the first game of the series of the state tournament, Garrett Springer with a double late in the game in left center field to help the Spartans knock off the Millard North Mustangs and avoid an upset. So once again, we're just moments away just to read some of the names that are going, or some of the universities that some of the Spartans players are going to. You have Kai Berkey going to Doane, Paul Shortridge, who we saw excel earlier this week on the mound, Grinnell College. And then you have the couple of Nebraska guys. Carter Mick is getting the start on the mound tonight for the Lincoln East Spartans. He's going to be a Husker. Joey Senstock at shortstop is going to be a Husker. You have also Troy Peltz, the starting left fielder, going to be a Husker in 2 seasons. Jeter Worthley, we know it. Michigan, Mason Gaines, UNO, Chase Nelson, St. Thomas, AJ Avasco, Kansas State, Owen Lessig, Washburn. This team, as much as we talked about Millard West, 1 through 9 in the lineup, Lincoln East has 14 guys going to continue their career somewhere. You can only field 9 at a time.
It's an almost unheard of number, right? You think about what Michigan football did, sending 18 guys to the combine. That's essentially what Lincoln East is doing from a baseball team.
There it is.
There's not many more than 14 guys on the varsity roster right now, and that many are going to play at the next level. Incredible job of development, of finding these guys, working with them. And of course, Nick, it's one thing to have talent, but it's another thing to develop that talent and then for the coaching staff to get these guys onto the next level. That is absolutely a point of pride, and it should be for Lincoln East, that not only was there talent in the ranks, but the coaching staff put in the work to develop them and find ways to advocate for their players and get them on to the next level.
Michael Lonick is the head coach for the Lincoln East Spartans. Steve Fry, the leader for the Millard West Wildcats. They'll have their conversation at home plate here just in a couple of minutes as Lonick rushes out there. Lonick in his 6th season as the head coach for the Lincoln East Spartans, trying to lead them to back-to-back Class A state championships in just a few moments. Once again, Carter Mick will be on the mound for the Lincoln East Spartans, the lefty, future Husker wearing number 10, an incredible basketball player, even better baseball player as he's on the mound. Jeter Worthley behind the dish doing the catching. Once again, this is how Lincoln East defense will set up. AJ Avasco at first base, Kai Berkey at second base, Joey Senstock at short, and Tanner Peterson at third. Out in the outfield, it'll be, Troy Peltz in left field, Mason Gaines in center, and Owen Lessig in right field. So first 3 hitters for the Millard West Wildcats, Tyson Lewis, Nick Van Tyker, and J.D. Moffitt. Moffitt will be on the mound today for the Millard West Wildcats, but hitting third as well.
Nick, if I can just throw this out here, Millard West student section went with the blackout, but also white hard hats. You think of hard hats, you think construction worker, you think blue collar, you think, lunch pail, first one in, last one out. Against any other team in the state, that's ridiculous. Millard West is the blue collar team with the college commits. They're the talent, not the hard work. They can pull that off and not be laughed out of Warner Park, that they have to be the more blue collar team, the harder working team, get those contributions from maybe a lesser heralded bottom of the lineup group.
JD Moffitt, by the way, future Northeast Community College commit. And so that is where he is going. So, you want to talk about the first four. It's Tyson Lewis, Arkansas /MLB here in just a couple of weeks / months. Nick Ventiker, Creighton Blue Jay, JD Moffitt, Northeast Community College, and number 1 for Millard West, Mike Valdivia, Tulane Green Wave. There you have it. And so we've been blessed with an incredible state baseball tournament. It's been some really high-level baseball. I got told, I actually had this conversation with somebody earlier yesterday, and they said it's high school baseball. And I said, trust me, this is better. This is better than some of the college games that we see on a daily basis.
It sure is. And it speaks to the level of play, the level of preparation, that these guys aren't resting on their laurels. They bring it every time we see them. And that should lead to another fantastic game to end out the high school baseball season here in Nebraska. Could not have drawn it up any better.
It's going to be a good one. If you, by the way, if you want to see, if you're not in the ballpark, you want to see how many people are here, you can head over to my Twitter, Nick_Sainer. I took a photo just before the national anthem from my point of view, or our point of view, from up here in the press box, from down the first baseline and then also down the third baseline as Warner Park packed to the gills almost down here along the sides. It's been an exciting couple of games here today. Class C was exceptional with a 3-run walk-off win for the Malcolm Clippers. And then in Class B, Norris captured their first Class B title since 2013. So now, once again, we are ready to go. Carter Mick adjusting his belt, and we are ready as Tyson Lewis steps into the left-handed batter's box. Jeter Worthley doing the catching, and Carter Mick on the bump. He sets, fires, swung on and missed as Tyson Lewis took a healthy cut at that one. It's 0-1. Tyson Lewis, left-handed hitter, originally from Utan, Nebraska, swings and misses on the 0-1 offering. It's 0-2. Hit a moonshot in their matchup against Elkhorn South on Wednesday night. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Tyson Lewis, the leadoff hitter for Millard West. The 0-2 offering from Mick, and it's chopped foul. It hit him in the box, and we'll do it again at 0-2. Healthy doses of curveball, curveball, curveball to number 9 in Millard West's uniform.
Make him sit back and wait and also use his aggression against him. Swing, swing, swing from Tyson Lewis here. Both guys trying to set the tone early.
Tyson Lewis steps in. The 0-2. Fastball fouled back to the netting. We'll do it again at 0-2. Tried to speed him up on the inside part of the plate. Lewis was able to fight it off. And now Lincoln East will adjust their defensive formation here. They'll shift the center fielder to the left side a little bit. Now the breaking ball hammered through the right side for a base hit. And Tyson Lewis just rolls over on a curveball that was left just a tad high. And now he tries to pump up the Millard West student section as that went under A.J. Avasco's glove. So once again, they showed 4 curveballs to Tyson Lewis, and he just pointed to the Millard West side and said, curveball, 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 curveball. And he finally was able to collect it and deposit it into right field. And so once again, Nick Ventiker steps up, a righty hitting second. Future Creighton Blue Jay adjusts his helmet, points towards center field with the bat, and gets ready to go against Carter Mick. Mick fires, and it's a first pitch strike in there on the outside corner, 0-1.
I was just going to say, Nick, I bet we see more fastball changeup here with the righties from Carter Mick, right? Get that action running away from them.
No balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Lewis leads off of first. They'll quickly pick over him there, and he's back in standing.
The flip side of that is, you mentioned the shadows, right? Directly in the faces of that right side of the defense. So maybe you do try inside. Maybe you do try some breaking balls for easier plays for the left side.
No balls, 1 strike. Mick picks over again. A little quicker this time, but still back standing up is Tyson Lewis. Carter Mick on the bump, Jeter Worthy behind the dish, Nick Van Tyker standing in for Millard West. The left-handed pitcher as Lewis runs. It's a breaking ball, hammered right at where the shortstop would initially be, but Senstock went and covered second base for the stealing base runner in Tyson Lewis, and that left a big gaping hole right in the 6 hole, and that's a base knock for Nick Van Tyker.
Textbook hit and run. You typically think of that going to the right-hand side, right, to give your runner a chance to get from first to third. But with the shortstop Senstock covering the bag, perfectly located by Nick Van Tyker.
So 0-0 here, top of the first inning. The first 2 hitters for Millard West have both gotten a hit off of Carter Mick. Tyson Lewis stands at second base. Nick Van Tyker on first. Short leads for both of the Wildcat base runners as J.D. Moffitt squares around, bunts it to the Mick at third, and he throws it over there in time to get Tyson Lewis. A poor bunt, a great defensive play by Carter Mick as he was able to fire over to third base, and Tanner Peterson was anchored with the bag for a force out at third base for out number 1.
Poor bunt is right. We've seen that play a few times here throughout the state tournament, Nick, but these are the 2 highest level teams remaining in the state. Well, remaining, obviously, because it's the last game. But Carter Mick did a good job of surveying his options, stepping and throwing over to third. Very poor bunt by the 3-hole hitter, J.D. Moffitt. Makes me wonder how many times he's been asked to do that this year.
So now J.D. Moffitt will occupy first while Nick Van Tyker's at second. Mike Valdivia steps in. The pitch to Valdivia, low and away, ball 1.
First called ball from Carter Mick today.
So 1 ball, no strikes now as he stares at Van Tyker and also Kai Berkey at second base. And now steps up onto the rubber. Carter Mick, the southpaw, facing off against the right-handed hitter, the future Tulane Green Wave member, Mike Valdivia, as he calls timeout as well.
Nick, I love this. The energy is palpable here. Having played Class B, Class C baseball, you don't see a lot of this. Lincoln, stand up. Millard, stand up. This is an incredible atmosphere for a game.
So Mike Valdivia, 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, top of the first inning. Mick steps off the rubber, and we'll do it again at 1-0 as Valdivia steps out of the box to collect his thoughts. Folks still starting to pile in here. Continuing to file. 1 ball, no strikes. Valdivia ahead in the count. Swing and a miss. That's 1-1. Valdivia gets the start at second base per usual for the Wildcats tonight. And eventually in the next 30, 45 minutes or so, all these shadows will surround Warner Park and the lights will be the only source here at Warner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch from Carter Mick. Up and away, ball 2. 2 hits in the inning. They both came on the leadoff single by Tyson Lewis and then a hit and run single base knock by Nick Van Tyker. J.D. Moffitt tried to bunt the 2 runners over, but a forced play at third on a poor bunt attempt by Moffitt. Swung on and missed, makes it 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good job by Carter Mick, evening things up at 2 apiece.
We've seen 3 pitches from Carter Mick so far here, Nick. We've seen the fastball, we've seen the breaking ball, and we've seen the changeup. It's very rare you see 3 pitches. Obviously, from a college guy like Carter Mick, you expect it.
That's the thing, is that's what takes these guys to the next level, right? The ability to consistently command 2 will make you a really good high school pitcher. If you can command 3, as they'll quickly pick back to second, sliding back safely as Nick Van Tyker. If you can consistently command 3, that's gonna be what propels you and gives you success at the college level.
On that pickoff play there, you saw Van Tyker take his secondary lead a step early. Thought he had it timed up. We saw Tyson Lewis take off on first movement on that steal attempt for the first batter of the game.
Valdivia strikes out swinging, and now Carter Mick is 1 out away from getting out of the top of the first with no harm done, despite 2 singles back-to-back to start the inning. So runners are still on first and second base. Van Tyker's at second. Moffitt's at first. Worthy will step out and signal to his middle infielders and Senstock at short and Kai Berkey at second. Carter Mick's on the mound, a lefty, facing the lefty hitter, Caden Struck. Struck, number 7 for Millard West. He watches strike 1 on the outer half, 0-1.
That's where Carter Mick's going to have to live against these powerful left-handed bats, Nick. They're in that outer half, especially with the breaking ball.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs to Caden Struck. Van Tyker's on second. Moffitt's on first. 2 outs here in the top of the first. The pitch from Mick swung on, grounded to the shortstop Senstock. He fields it off a 2-hop, fires over to second for the force out, and out number 3 to wrap up the top of the first inning. So once again, the Wildcats get back-to-back singles to start the inning, but Mick works around them and hangs a 0. We head to the bottom of the first inning. It'll be the top of the order for the Spartans. Worthley, Berkey, and Avasco, they are due up for the first time today, and we see J.D. Moffitt on the mound also in just a few moments in 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Nick Standard, Austin Norman back with you. Class A state championship game here at Warner Park. Austin, before we get to J.D. Moffitt on the mound for Millard West, let's talk about that top of the first. We've said it earlier in the week. Not very many opportunities come and go for teams against the top echelon teams in their respective brackets. Here, that feels like a spot where Millard West might have missed out.
Absolutely. And it started with the sacrifice bunt that wasn't a sacrifice, the attempted sacrifice bunt. Moffitt bunted it right back to Carter Mick, who was able to use his left-handed throwing motion to take his momentum toward third base and get the lead runner. Would it have mattered? Maybe not, because then the next batter, Valdivia, out. That's a ball in play where it's not supposed to be, and then no ball in play. No productive outs to at least move the runners and give yourself a chance at scoring on a wild pitch. Just not enough solid contact there in the first inning, past the first 2 batters. Not enough situational baseball from Millard West.
So once again, J.D. Moffitt on the mound today, as once again, it looks like Chance Roberts may be getting the start at first base.
I have it as
Caden Struck getting the start at first base, Moffitt's usual position. Roberts is at second. Valdivia is the designated hitter. No, excuse me. In right.
I have Chance Roberts in right, yes.
Okay, there we go. So nonetheless, we'll get that figured out. Jeter Worthley steps into the plate facing the Millard West pitcher, J.D. Moffitt, and that first one of the day is a breaking ball that goes over Worthley's head. 1-0.
Sending a message, buzz the tower.
Yeah. So once again, Jeter Worthley, the future Michigan baseballer, as now Moffitt, a little out of control, a little revved up here, as that second one also goes back to the backstop. And how about this? Van Tyker and Tyson Lewis instantly run in, talk to Moffitt, and say, hey, man, let's calm ourselves down. Enjoy the moment. Here we go. It's 2-0. Don't want to put Worthley on via free pass. No. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out, bottom of the first inning. The pitch from Moffitt. Fastball outside corner, strike 1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out to the leadoff hitter, Jeter Worthley. Moffitt out of the windup, fires, and that was just outside, ball 3.
I like the idea. You got the call a little bit off the plate. See if you can extend it another inch there.
3 balls, 1 strike, and it's ball 4. And to that point, Austin, right, in the first inning, the umpire might not give that to you. But after 2, 3, 4 consistent innings of pounding that outside corner, he's a little bit more inclined, the home plate umpire is, to give you a little farther out because you've consistently shown the ability to pound that outside part of the plate.
And it goes on the catcher as well, right?
Bingo.
You've talked about receiving the ball in the middle of your body, with your nose lined up with it. The catcher's been reaching his left arm, his glove hand out to get it.
Moffitt, as Berkey squares, and he does not get that in fair territory, bunts it foul. It's 0-1. And to that point, that's also to the catcher to where, all right, eventually each inning, line up a little bit more farther outside, because then over the time, that's how you can, in a way, manipulate the umpire, manipulate the strike zone to where you can help your pitcher out throughout the course of the game by inning number 7. As Moffitt winds up, this one bunted down the left side and foul. And so Berkey now 0-2. And I would like to point out, right, this is now a critical time because it certainly hurt Millard West not being able to get a successful bunt down. Here's Lincoln East in a very similar spot. I will say this. They were trying to bunt it down the third base line. It's much more difficult, especially with a guy that throws velocity like J.D. Moffitt, to bunt it down the third base line. Bunt it down the first base line. Do your job first and foremost. As now Berkey grounds it to the shortstop, Lewis. He fields it, fires it over to second, and it's dropped on the reception. They're going to try to say that he transferred that and lost it on the transfer, but at the end of the day, they're going to say that the second baseman for Millard West was not able to hold on to it, and that is a big problem for the Wildcats as they commit their first error of the day on the second base receiving.
I was going to say that's got to go down as an E4 because even though I'm a little surprised Tyson Lewis went to second, he trusted his arm, trusted Valdivia to be there, and Tyson Lewis made the play. That's on the Valdivia end of that. Now, the maybe more sure out would have been at first, but I don't dislike that play from Tyson Lewis.
So E4, and now it's AJ Avasco. Avasco swings and misses at a break or a changeup rather on the outer part of the plate, 0-1. So now Worthley is at second, and with his speed, it doesn't take much to be able to score from second base. Kai Berkey, also a nice base path threat for the Spartans, is standing on first. No balls, 1 strike to AJ Avasco. The pitch from Moffitt. Swung on and missed again. Back-to-back changeups, low and away, and it's 0-2. Avasco hunting fastball. Has not gotten a fastball, and if you're J.D. Moffitt, I'm not sure why you wouldn't just go right back to the changeup or elevate a fastball just to try to change eye level.
If you do decide on fastball, it's got to be letter high or above.
So Moffitt comes set. The pitch. Fastball grounded to the shortstop. Lewis on second for 1. Over to first in time. Avasco grounds into a double play. And now Worthley stands on third with 2 outs. And the designated hitter, Garrett Springer, coming up to the plate.
That's a good read by Tyson Lewis. His momentum was taking him to that second base bag. Instead of risking the flip, he's like, all right, I got 1 step to take. Let me use that as my push-off.
So once again, AJ Avasco grounds into a double play. And now with 2 outs, it's Garrett Springer. Springer, the designated hitter, hitting from the right side as J.D. Moffitt tries to get out of this one. The breaking ball, just outside, ball 1. On the play, on the double play rather, Worthley advanced to third. Moffitt comes set high at the letters. Looks over at third, now fires, breaking ball, low and away, ball 2.
Springer's a big dude. Following up after Avasco, another big athletic guy. This outfield for Millard West is playing them with considerable respect. They're pretty deep.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the first. The Spartans trying to crack the scoring column as the fastball painted on the corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. J.D. Moffitt, the right-handed thrower, living mid to upper 80s rather. As Moffitt comes set high, Springer with a towel hanging out of his right back pocket. Fouls this one back, it's back to even. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He was right on it. That could not have traveled more in a straight line back to the net. He's got him timed up. So now do you elevate the fastball or do you try to throw his timing off with the breaking ball? That's the question facing Millard West.
Moffitt hasn't been able to control the breaking ball all that well. He's controlled the changeup. He got 2 swings and misses from A.J. Avasco on the change. The 2-2 pitch, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. High fly, shallow right field. The right fielder coming under it and makes the catch. And so both teams had a chance. They had a leadoff base runner, Millard West, in fact, and Lincoln East. Both had both of their leadoff, 2 straight back-to-back base runners on base with nobody out, and 0 runs come of it for both the Spartans and the Wildcats. We head to the top of the second inning. Due up for the Wildcats in their half of the second inning. It's 7-8. Roberts, Kidd, and Williams when we return on 93.7 The Ticket.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
It is the top of the second inning, 0-0 after 1 inning of play, waiting on Jeter Worley to come on out. And in the meantime, let's hand it off to Austin Norman for the second inning.
Thanks, Nick. We are here in the top of the second. No score between Millard West and Lincoln East. We've talked about it a lot today, throughout the week. Opportunities, being able to take advantage of them when they present themselves. You don't expect to have many in a game of this caliber. With a guy like Carter Mick on the mound, with a guy like J.D. Moffitt on the mound, opportunities are going to be few and far between, which makes the situational baseball, the situational execution, that much more important. As Nick mentioned, it is 6, 7, and 8 due up for Millard West. That's Chance Roberts pulling up his numbers for the year. A .290 hitter, 18 hits out of 62 chances, 9 runs driven in. A lot of lefty-on-lefty matchups so far. Tyson Lewis, a lefty. Caden Struck, a lefty, and now Chance Roberts, a lefty, takes the ball to start his at bat out of the left hand of Carter Mick. Mick back to work early. He wears number 10. There's a beautiful breaking ball in for strike one. Nick, we were talking about this with some other media members before the game. Lincoln East's pitchers do not make you wait between pitches. No. It came to mind about Paul Shortridge, but Carter Mick's the same way.
Yeah.
As there's Chance Roberts swinging through a pitch. He's down on the count 1-2.
That's why it's important for Millard West to get base runners on, right? Give the pitcher on the mound something else to think about. And also try to screw up their timing. Get into a routine. And if you don't, then time them up and steal some bags.
The 1-2 reached for, fouled off down the first baseline by Chance Roberts. He stays alive. As a pitch on the outside part of the zone, Roberts was in protect mode. He yanked it down the right field line. Here's Mick into the wind. His pitch, breaking ball, hammered to right field. Coming in on it is the right fielder. That's Owen Lassig for the first out of the inning. Chance Roberts retired on a fly ball to right.
Yeah, tough play for Lassig out there, right? As you're looking right into the sun, you can't be in a worse position unless you're at second base or right field as the shadows start to slowly eat the entire Warner Park field. But ultimately enough, Owen Lassig right in the sun.
That brings Sam Kidd to the plate wearing number 4. He's doing the catching today for Millard West. He goes after the first pitch, fouls it off to the right side. Strike one.
How about this, Austin? Kid's fighting for a foul ball in the seats. Some dude just did a dive over a row. That's incredible.
We are so back. Another one by Kidd, fouled off to the right side.
Thought they were going to get another chance.
Top of the netting, just held that one in. So Mick quickly ahead of Sam Kidd, 0-2. Mick has a strikeout. He got Mike Valdivia to strike out with a runner on first and second in the first inning. Kidd, a right-handed batter. Mick a southpaw. He's into his windup. He kicks and deals. Pitch on the outside. of the plate. Just misses. That's a very good take by Sam Kidd on a pitch that didn't miss by much.
You got to love that pitch, though, if you're Coach Lonick over in the East dugout.
Mixed 2-strike delivery does not get the call on that one either. Very similar placement. So Sam Kidd, after being down 0-2 after 2 foul balls, has worked a 2-2 count. He waggles the bat, and now Mick's ready. He delivers, swung on, fouled back, just popped out of the glove of Jeter Worthley. Would have been strike 3.
Good fight by Sam Kidd, right? Millard West, this is how you get into that rhythm and kind of try to disrupt it if you are Millard West against Lincoln East and Carter Mick.
Mick's ready to go. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball just low. Worthley tried to frame it. Kidd saw it all the way into the mitt, took it low. Count runs full, 3-2.
Sam Kidd, the catcher for Millard West. That strike zone shrinks just a little bit.
Here's Mick's full count delivery with 1 out. Swung on, blasted to third base. Leaping grab at third by Tanner Peterson. What a play there at the hot corner. That was a rope off the bat of Kidd. Peterson leaps, snow-coned it.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that on some highlight reels tonight. Would not be surprised. That was an incredible grab, great awareness and response there by Tanner Peterson. Hot off the bat, great piece of hitting by Sam Kidd, just right into the glove.
That brings Jackson Williams to the plate. He's a designated hitter. He goes right back to Peterson. Throw across the dugout. Nice pick over at first by A.J. Avasco. Back-to-back nice plays by Tanner Peterson. Keeps Millard West scoreless in the top of the second. No score as we head to the home half of the second. Lincoln East due up. We'll be back in a minute on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
It's, hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Through an inning and a half at Werner Park, no score between the top 2 teams in Class A pretty much all year. Lincoln East coming to bat. Millard West has 2 hits, has not crossed the plate. I'm Austin Norman. To my left, Nick Sainert. J.D. Moffitt returns to the mound as it's Troy Peltz due up to lead off for Lincoln East. He'll be followed by Owen Lassig and Joey Senstock.
Austin. Troy Peltz, 2025 guy going to Nebraska, starting in left field today.
Starting in left field, he's a left-handed batter, takes a pitch over the inside corner for a strike, leading off his at-bat. On the year, Peltz a .340 hitter, 25 hits in 74 at-bats. Second pitch swung on and missed. J.D. Moffitt quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. Peltz wearing number 27. Here's Moffitt in the windup, bounced in front of home plate. Kidd scrambles to stop it. We saw between innings that J.D. Moffitt threw his fair share of breaking balls in his warm-up pitches. I think he's still trying to find the grip for that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, I would agree with you. But he's got the fastball velocity to be able to throw it past some guys, and he needs to stick with that, right? If you establish the fastball early, you can usually get through the lineup one time without it really hurting you, right? You're going to give up your fair share of hits, sure, but when it's all said and done, you'll be okay.
Peltz rips that ball to center field, but Jackson Williams has a beat on it. No sweat for Millard West. First out of the inning off the bat of Troy Peltz.
So there we saw it, right? He established that fastball on the outer part of the plate, got a couple of swings and misses, and then also he jammed Troy Peltz inside. Fastball in on the hands, and Peltz, give credit to Peltz, he was able to muscle that to fairly deep center field, but just routine for Jackson Williams.
That brings up Owen Lassig. Lassig made a catch there as he rips that ball to left field. Left fielder's first step was back. He's underneath it, making the catch in left. Jake Blackman. So very quickly, 2 outs here in the home half of the second inning.
So let's talk about the differences, right? So Lincoln East has now seen, and we had something similar in the Norris game, where I would equate Lincoln East to Norris, to where they can be disciplined, but man, they love to jump on first pitch fastball, which isn't always a bad thing. But in this case, Millard West saw a lot of pitches last inning off of Carter Mick. You had Sam Kidd, who had an extended at bat. This time, here we are 5 pitches through it, and Lincoln East already has 2 outs in their half of the inning.
Joey Senstock, the shortstop for Lincoln East, has kept the bat on his shoulder through the first 2 pitches. It's 1-1.
And that was interesting. The umpire gave Moffitt a pretty far out strike there, and that'll be interesting to see if that carries over into when Lincoln East is in the field.
Moffitt tried to double up on it, did not get the call. He's down in the count 2-1. Shakes. Now here comes the delivery from Moffitt. Breaking ball, foul tip into the mid of Sam Kidd for strike 2.
It had a lot of movement on it, right? It was probably a little more hung over the plate or centered than Moffitt probably would have liked, but it got the strike, and now it's 2-2.
Might have found the feel for at least a slower breaking ball. The 2-2 in the dirt, sneaks through the wickets of Kidd. Count runs full.
Can't let that happen if you're a kid. Get those out of the way now when there's nobody on base, because, man, that could be a deal breaker in the 6th or 7th inning, allowing it to go through your 5-hole. Oof.
In terms of the regulars, Joey Senstock, 2nd or 3rd on the team in average. He's a .405 hitter. That one sprayed to the right side. Is it going to land to the Bermuda Triangle? No, it is not. Hustling in to make the catch is the right fielder, Chase Roberts. 1-2-3. Go the Spartans in the bottom half of the second. Through 2 innings, no score, only 2 hits on the board. We've got Millard West coming to bat after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
No scores. We head to the 3rd inning. Lincoln East, the number 1 seed, the home team. Millard West, the 2nd seed, the visiting team. They've got 9-1-2 due up here in the top of the 3rd. With the call, Nick Sainer.
Thank you, Austin Norman. Jake Blackman, the starting left fielder, starts the top of the 3rd. Tyson Lewis on deck, and that means the top of the order for Millard West just around the corner. Blackman takes breaking ball away and low, 1-0. So Jake Blackman getting the start in left field today. The 1-0 pitch. This one hit well out to center field. The center fielder gains, racing over, and makes the catch with one hand, drifting to his right and shadowing left center field for out number 1. That brings up Tyson Lewis. Lewis singled. He got down in the count pretty early on. He got down 0-2, but then a curveball from Carter Mick was just left a little too high and ended up firing it under the glove of AJ Avasco into right field. On Wednesday, days are getting messed up. On Wednesday, there were 8 MLB scouts at Warner Park to watch Tyson Lewis. We'd expect a similar, if not more drastic of a number, as Lewis rips this one into right field. A diving catch by Owen Lessig. As he robs Tyson Lewis of what would have been a double, Lewis was rounding first base. That one was Lessig battled the sun and dove and grabbed it for out number 2.
At least a double, if not more, because Lassig made that dive forward with no backup. Would have taken the center fielder a long time to get there. That scouting report, they're playing deeper than normal, and if he's at normal depth, I don't know if he makes that catch.
Now Van Tyker rolls over. Throw from third is not in time as Tanner Peterson bobbled it. Thought he had enough time. Threw it over to first. It was a good, accurate throw by Peterson, but Avasco on the receiving end not able to get it quick enough to get Nick Van Tyker out at first base. That will go as an error, so now both sides have committed one error.
I'm not sure that's as far as Avasco can stretch.
There you have it. As Van Tyker leads off at third. J.D. Moffitt trying to help himself out. Swung on and missed. 0-1. Back to the Tyson Lewis MLB scouts in here at Warner. Expect there's probably a similar number here tonight to watch the future MLB draft pick here in a couple of weeks when the draft commences. They'll pick over to first and Van Tyker back standing up. Feels like Millard West has a pretty good read on Carter Mick's move over to first base. They've been able to go back standing up. They've also swiped a bag on a hit and run as well. So no balls, 1 strike, and now Jeter Worthy will pause the action and go trot out to the mound to talk to Carter Mick.
So as a pitcher, Nick, if you have 1, maybe 2 speeds for your move, and it seems like the opponent has timed it up, there are a couple things you can do. Number 1 is just step off. Number 2 is you can pitch out, which you see a lot more in high school baseball than you do moving up the ranks. And then the last resort then is a back pick from the catcher to try to hold the runner.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. J.D. Moffitt up at the plate. Nick Van Tyker leads off at first. The pitch from Mick swung on, fouled back. 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs as Moffitt steps into that right-handed batter's box. Van Tyker leads off of first. Mick, and he picks over.
You see Van Tyker really chopping those feet. He's making Mick think about him over there.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ball in the dirt. Great ball in dirt read as Van Tyker swipes second without even a throw. And so great job. That ball was deflected off the chest protector of Jeter Worthy, and then it got caught in between the 2 feet of J.D. Moffitt. Moffitt did a really nice job of just standing still. And Jeter Worthy had to pluck it in between his 2 legs.
It's only batter's interference if the catcher makes a throw. That's why Moffitt's allowed to stand there.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 3rd inning. Van Tyker jumping off a second, and he makes Mick step off and think about it. Great job being active by Nick Van Tyker. This is what can change a game. This is what gets Carter Mick out of his rhythm. It takes 1 base runner like Van Tyker to do so. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Van Tyker dancing around, swung on, fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Got to be careful, right? He's looked to go on first, move there on that ball in the dirt, took 2 hard steps and stopped. There was a big secondary lead, but here's the thing, Nick. He timed it up. He knows Mick's going to check him once, maybe twice, and then he can get that big secondary lead because in a game like this with some of the arms in the outfield, every step can make a difference if he wants to score in a single.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mick comes set, stares, flips around, fires a second. Van Tyker's back easily. Read it like a book.
I don't know if that's the time for that back pick, right? If you're Lincoln East, keep that thought in the back of your mind, right? Don't do it the next pitch after you see him get a big secondary because you know that he knows.
Yeah. That's that strategy that a lot of people don't think about, right? Is that are you able to stay composed long enough? And I mean that over the span of a couple of innings to keep that in your back pocket. As Moffitt fouls off another one, it's 1-2 still. Are you able to stay composed and also go back to it in 3 innings when maybe Van Tyker or somebody else on Millard West's squad forgets about it and hasn't seen the move? But now they're aware that Carter Mick has it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Moffitt's fouled off a couple, trying to score Van Tyker from second. He could with a base hit. Moffitt fouls it off again. It's 1-2.
Great at bat from Moffitt. We've seen a lot of foul balls here, Nick, but I like that Carter Mick continues to challenge him as well. Now, after he's fouled off, that's 3 pitches in a row, I might try to waste a pitch. Since there's 2 outs and a productive out doesn't do anything, there's no such thing with 2 outs.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the third, rather, as Mick now has to step off. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No score yet between number 2 Millard West and number 1 Lincoln East. Breaking ball swung on, hit up the middle. That's a base hit. Then Tyker sprinting around third. He will score standing up, and Millard West has a 1-0 lead as J.D. Moffitt extends the at-bat, helps himself out, and puts Millard West in front 1-0.
What an at-bat by J.D. Moffitt. Fouled off those 3 pitches in a row, like I said. Mick stayed on the attack. He stayed on the aggressive, and Moffitt made him pay. Not the hardest hit ball, but he got just enough muscle on it to get it through into center field for that RBI single.
So once again, J.D. Moffitt helps himself on a nice base knock up the middle. Van Tyker able, after reaching on an error, scores from second. And that's, once again, we go back to it, reaching on errors, free passes, free bases. Evolution of baseball certainly helps you out there.
No courtesy running for Moffitt either.
The 1-0 pitch fouled back. We'll do it at 1-1. So Mike Valdivia is the hitter. Second baseman for Millard West. The pitch. Low and away, ball 2.
It's the first pitch and that last pitch of this at bat that I think would have been better to Moffitt. I don't mind a guy with Carter McStuff going at a hitter, but sometimes you have to know when to be on the aggressive and when to see if you can get a guy to chase.
As now left side, this one into the seats. We'll do it at 2-2.
Because clearly Moffitt was in protect mode.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he had his mind on covering the plate as well as he could.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the third inning, Wildcats of Millard West have put up a run. They lead 1-0. Mick fires, swung on high, fly ball to left center field. Left fielder Troy Peltz can't get there. As rounding second is Moffitt. He's trying to get on his horse around third. He will score. And sliding into third is Mike Valdivia. And he delivers on a 2-out double to the wall. And now Coach Lonick will want to trot on out to the mound and have a conversation with Carter Mick as Valdivia advanced to third as well. So Valdivia stands on third base. Moffitt was trying to unhitch the trailer around third. He did, and it's 2-0 Millard West.
That jumped off the bat more than I thought it would. That kept carrying and carrying. The wind maybe not quite as strong as it was in the first game that we called, Nick, but Valdivia got a hold of that ball and drilled it to the deepest part of the park.
So it is 2-0 now. Millard West out in front as Coach Michael Lonick still out there having that conversation. Mike Valdivia delivers a 2-out triple. And J.D. Moffitt helped himself out and then also scored a run to add to that total. It's now 2-0, and it's all been done with 2 outs in the inning. So to start this inning, Blackman flew out to center field. Tyson Lewis, on a diving catch by Owen Lasig, was able to fly out to right field. But then Van Tyker reached on an error. J.D. Moffitt, after Van Tyker advanced to second, got a single that Van Tyker scored on, and then that triple to the wall. Here's Caden Struck as it's 1 ball, 1 strike, fouled off to the left side, 1-1.
That's the 19th pitch of the inning for Carter Mick. He had the first 2 outs on 4 pitches.
There you have it. J.D. Moffitt, you can look at that at bat, and no matter what would have happened, that's productive. As Struck fouls it off left side again. Struck trying to sit on that breaking ball late on the fastball, got jammed there. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go right back to that fastball. Mick, the lefty-lefty matchup. We'll see what Jeter Worthley and Carter Mick decide to do. 1-2, 2 outs. Top of the third inning, 2-0 Millard West, and Caden Struck calls timeout. What would you do here, Austin?
Fastball in or breaking ball away. You're right that he's sitting on the breaking ball, but if that's what he's looking for, it's okay to throw it. Just make sure it's out of his reach.
Fastball low and away. 2-2. Might have missed a spot there.
I think that's the case. Because I've never called a pitch wrong in my life, Nick. I have the strategy.
That's what I heard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the third inning. 2-0 Millard West. A lot of twos. And that one hits him. It clips Caden Struck. That was a fastball barely inside. I think it would have been ball 3 nonetheless. But Caden Struck looked back at the umpire. The umpire immediately called it. So that's what makes you think, okay, they actually did see something. They heard a clip. Something happened there to where Caden Struck drew the hit by pitch. So now that brings up Chance Roberts with runners on first and third. We'll see, does Millard West put Caden Struck in motion at first base with a lefty on the mound? Mick, the breaking ball stayed up, but was just probably a little too high for Chance Roberts to swing at, and it's 0-1.
He was late on it. He didn't make up his mind on it. He saw it was a breaking ball. He saw it was elevated, so it was too late for him to realize he should swing, but it wasn't necessarily a good pitch to swing at.
No balls, 1 strike, the pitch. Breaking ball, low in the way, in the dirt, 1-1. Carter Mick might see his time coming to an end here if he can't get out of this inning. It looks like Lincoln East does have a lefty up in the bullpen, out in center field. The 1-1 pitch here in the top of the third. Hits the outside corner. That's a really nice spot by Carter Mick. It's 1-2.
We can't see the number from here. Do we assume it's Paul Shortridge?
Paul Shortridge is a righty. That's a lefty. Potentially Thomas Fraley. We saw Fraley on Wednesday, however. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Low and away. The runner goes from first. How about that? As that is designed specifically to where on this count, where people might get lazy, get lackadaisical, the runner at first, Caden Struck, just kind of meanders over halfway to second base. Worthy was kind of surprised on a delayed hesitation steal, and Struck just moseys on into second base without a throw. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners in scoring position. Breaking ball, skied high left side, and that will stay in play as the third baseman, Peterson, will not get there. It bounces up against the field level sweep.
It's that surprise and that delay where you're hoping to take advantage. You hope that the catcher loses his head, forgets the situation for a second, and in his surprise, he sees the runner, so he throws down to second. And then it's that runner's job to get in the run down for long enough for the runner on third to come home.
Nobody was there, though, at home. There was nobody at second base to field a throw from Jeter Worthley, so Millard West said, we'll take second base, no issues. The pitch on 2-2. Hammered, right side rollover, diving stop by Avasco, underhand flip, and Mick is there in time. So a nice job by Carter Mick getting over in time as it looked like Chance Roberts slid into the bag head first, trying to beat it out, but did not get there in time. Now Coach Lonick having a heart-to-heart conversation with the Spartans as they trail 2-0. Still searching for their first hit when we come back in the bottom of the third on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
I'll stick my hand up, apologize to Austin for insinuating that he was incorrect. Paul Shortridge warming out there in the center field bullpen. So
I've only seen
Nice
the guy
call
one
by
time.
Austin.
I just, who the team's best
Exactly.
guys are.
There you go.
And I am more than happy to be wrong, but blind squirrel, nuts.
You know the whole thing. So here we go. Bottom of the third inning. It will be Mason Gaines up first. Lincoln East has had one base runner, and it was a leadoff walk to Jeter Worthley. Since then, J.D. Moffitt has retired the last 6 hitters. So once again, Lincoln East still searching for their first hit in this one. By the way, I said something incorrect right there. Kai Berkey reached on an error, but then was doubled up.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last 5 hitters have been retired in order. Mason Gaines, the left-handed hitter, the center fielder for Lincoln East, steps in. J.D. Moffitt back on the bump, and the first pitch of the bottom of the third is inside for a ball. So J.D. Moffitt had that single back in the top of the third for Millard West as Gaines rolls over, bouncer to second base. Valdivia fires it over to first in time for out number 1.
That was a candy hop if I've ever seen one. Valdivia had a chance to sit back and wait for it.
So now that brings up the 9-hitter in Lincoln East's order, Tanner Peterson. Peterson getting the start at third base today. Had a really nice snag at third base out of midair. He hits from the right side, facing the righty Moffitt. The pitch from Moffitt. Fastball grounded to Valdivia again. He puts his glove on the dirt and throws over to first in time. 4-3 again on the putout for back-to-back outs. So there you have it, right? 3 pitches, 2 outs for J.D. Moffitt. And now Jeter Worthley in the top of the Lincoln East order come up to bat.
We've seen plenty of 2-out rallies get started. So if Jeter Worthley sees a pitch he likes, you don't mind him swinging at it, as good a hitter as he is, but he's also your leadoff guy. If he's not going to get on and there's not going to be a rally, there's no one better to see some pitches than the leadoff man in your lineup.
First pitch of the at-bat is a ball, 1-0. As the shadows have engulfed Warner Park. Nobody dealing with the sun now, but now a shallow fly ball. Second baseman Valdivia as he makes all 3 outs. So Mike Valdivia is able to catch that one off the bat of Jeter Worthley. And through 3 innings, Lincoln East still searching for their first hit. We'll step aside, come back, top of the 4th when we return on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
We return to Werner Park, top of the 4th inning. It is Carter Mick on the mound for Lincoln East, getting his warm-up pitches in. Mick threw 15 pitches in the first inning, 13 in the second, and then doubled his pitch count in the third. A 28-pitch third inning, 2-run board for Millard West. 2 up for the Wildcats. It will be Kidd, Williams, and Blackman. Kidd had that long at bat that ended in a line drive jumping snare by the third baseman for Lincoln East, Tanner Peterson. It looks like Worthley's got his gear on now, thrown down to second on this next pitch. Was the Tanner Peterson inning to some degree in the second. Kidd had the line out, and then Williams went 5-3 to end that second inning.
This will be an important inning for Carter Mick, right? He hasn't been bad throughout this performance. Just a couple of timely hits, the 1 error, and just a couple of balls that were hit really well on the screws. And you look up, and once again, it's one of those performances where Coach Lonnick's probably over there going, our offense has to help our guy out at some point.
First pitch bender didn't bend quite enough for Carter Mick. He falls behind Sam Kidd 1-0. Nick, we were talking about this a little bit during the break. Not that we're anything close to this game being complete, as Kidd ropes one to left center field, ranging over his gains. He lays out. He won't get there. That ball gets to the warning track, and now the wall. Kidd, a turnaround second. He'll slam on the brakes. You wonder, Nick, could he have gotten a third on that overthrow? The shortstop, Senstock, wasn't quick to get there. The third baseman would have had to come off the bag. Either way, it's a leadoff double for Sam Kidd to start the Wildcat fourth.
Yeah, now courtesy runner is going to be number 27, Bennett Clokey. And so once again, Sam Kidd, I mean, that's the way to start, right? Because now if you're Jackson Williams or if you're Steve Fry, the head coach for Millard West, you have all these options. You can bunt Jackson Williams since you're near the bottom of your order and Tyson Lewis is in the hole. You could also allow Jackson Williams to swing away. I think you have a lot of options here if you're Millard West to try to just continue to tack on runs.
They lead 2-0. Here's Williams. He's speedy. He squares around a bump, but Nick, he pops it up. It will hit the screen. Worthley did catch it with his bare hand off the bounce of the padding. Doesn't count as an out.
This is something interesting. So you watch the third baseman, Tanner Peterson, used to run a play called wheel, where basically the shortstop moves over to third. You knew the bunt was coming. Tanner Peterson crashes hard. It's basically a wheel. Everybody wheels towards third base. That runner at third, then that's where you want that play to go. You tag out that runner at third as the runner goes now, but another foul bunt.
That one went directly sideways off the bat of Williams. He's down in the count 0-2. The reason they're not running wheel right now, Nick, is because Senstock was holding Clokey there at second base. So if you're Williams in that situation with a left-handed pitcher on the mound, that's when you might try to add some velocity to push it past the pitcher spot, make a Vasco come get it. That's a long run for the second baseman.
There you have it.
So Carter Mick ahead of Jackson Williams, 0-2. Mick the lefty. Williams the righty flails and misses. 3 pitches and a strikeout for Carter Mick in the first out of the inning.
That's one of those where it's guys, there are 5 other guys that are willing to do that job on the bench, right? Because at a program like Millard West, that's not going to fly. And a lot of programs, right? If you don't get here by having empty at-bats, I'm not calling for Jackson Williams to be sat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying programs like Lincoln East and Millard West don't get to a state championship and don't have the dominant runs that they have with empty at-bats like that.
Lefty matchup now as Carter Mick faces Jake Blackman, who lined out to center his first at-bat. He was late on that one from Mick. Fouled it off toward the Lincoln East dugout for strike one.
Because now that changes the trajectory of the entire inning, right? I mean, if Jake Blackman gets a base hit here, then no harm, no foul. Or if there's a wild pitch like we've seen before, no harm, no foul. But now the pressure is on Jake Blackman, your 9-hole hitter, to just keep the inning alive here with 1 out so that Tyson Lewis has something to do.
Clokey, the courtesy runner, is at second. He's being held by Senstock. Mick, big leg kick delivers. Blackman fouls that one off over the sweets on the third base side. He's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The difference between a runner on second with no out and runner on third with 1 out is essentially negligible. If the runner was on first base and Williams didn't get the bunt down, it's probably an even bigger sin. But regardless, those extra 90 feet have made a difference many a time.
Well, a rollover base, or a rollover ground ball would score a run here. And that's the thing is, right, you're asking your 9-hole hitter, the parameters of success are wider, right? What quantifies a quality at bat? And in that situation, if your runner at second is on third with 1 out instead of on second, a rollover ground ball looks a lot better than it will right now.
Blackman jumped out of the way of the previous pitch. It was slightly inside. So 1-2 as Mick fakes the inside move. He steps off and Clokey retreats to second.
I'm surprised we're not seeing more active feet at second base from like Senstock in this case. You have Clokey at second base that obviously runs well because he's their courtesy runner for their catcher Sam Kidd. I'm surprised that we're not seeing, and we see him signal to Jeter Worthley a play from shortstop, but even if it's not going to, if there's no play on, you don't want to only do stuff when you have something in the works.
Sunstock early working Clokey. Now as the fastball's up and out of the zone. Count runs full on Jake Blackman. Or, Nick, you can have both the second baseman and shortstop hold the guy. If you're going to pitch him outside, it should probably be the second baseman's job to work him. If you're going to bust him inside, then sure, give Joey Sunstock the responsibility. But it's a full count to the 9-hole hitter, Blackman. He's a lefty. His stance is open. He wheels the bat around between his right and left hands. Now Mick comes set at the letters. Peeks at second base and delivers. Fouled off left side. Will do it again.
Really nice at-bat forming here from Blackman. I know I said, and I was kind of critical at the start of it, right? But regardless of what happens, you're continuing to drive that pitch count of Carter Mick up, 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 up.
Mick holds the baseball in his left hand behind his back. Gets the sign from Worthley. He's ready to fire. Takes a look at second. Now he does. Breaking ball, snaps it off just outside. Great at bat there by Jake Blackman. Started down 0-2. He fouled a pitch off before taking the breaker outside for ball 4. Now there's runners on first and second with 1 out for number 9 Tyson Lewis at the top of this Millard West order.
That pitch could have been, that result could have been much different, as now Lonick is going to come talk to Carter Mick. This may be the end of the day for Carter Mick. But what I was going to say is that could have been much different. Jeter Worthley caught that out in front, tried to stick it out in front a little bit more as Mick's day is done. Looks like Paul Shortridge is going to come in and relieve Carter Mick. Not surprising at this point. But once again, what I was going to say, especially if it's a breaking ball that's sat up a little bit more, catch that a little deeper. Catch that against your body. It's not the most comfortable, but it gives, once again, that optical illusion to the umpire that he caught that right in the middle of the plate, and it didn't cross the plate. We always have this debate of, is it a strike if where it crosses the plate or where the catcher catches it, right? At the high school level, umpires can get fooled easily. Those curve balls that stay up in the zone and float over the zone, catch those deep, because then you're going to give that optical illusion from the umpire sitting across up above you that, hey, he caught that right in the center of his body. That's a strike. And you're going to get a lot more calls and help your pitcher out, which ultimately is why Carter Mick got pulled, was because of that walk.
Let's step aside for 60 seconds here at 93.7 The Ticket. We'll close the book on Carter Mick and tell you about Paul Shortridge and his matchup with Tyson Lewis on the other side.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
One out in the top of the 4th inning. Carter Mick's day is done. He's relieved by Paul Shortridge. 68 pitches for Carter Mick. Nick, a gutsy outing, maybe not exactly how Lincoln East drew it up, though.
No, and Carter Mick's kind of been their big game guy. However, I will say Paul Shortridge has impressed me most out of anybody on this Lincoln East staff. 7-0 on the year, a 1.51 earned run average. Certainly a guy that can come in, give you 4 quality innings, which is what you need, or 3 2/3 to kind of ride you the rest of the way against the talented Millard West lineup.
So here's Paul Shortridge. He's a lefty on the extreme first base side of the rubber. First pitch breaking ball. Tyson Lewis goes after it. Ranging over is the shortstop, Stenstock. He retires Tyson Lewis about 10 steps onto the outfield grass. Tyson Lewis, aggressive, Nick. He dropped that back shoulder, didn't let the breaking ball get deep, popped that one high into the sky.
Well, we've seen that twice now, right? Tyson had a really nice at-bat the first one of the game. He singled through the right side into right field. But then the last two at bats, a really good piece out to right field as well, but then now just a fly out to the shortstop, putting a lot of pressure on Nick Van Tuyker. Go right back to that missed bunt, and maybe Tyson Lewis's approach is a little different too.
Van Tuyker reached on an error by the third baseman Peterson, his first at bat. Half-hearted swing fouls it off over the first base side for strike one. Shortridge will work quickly. Won't waste much time. Van Tuyker, right-handed batter, wears number 2 for the Wildcats. Shortridge wears number 3 for Lincoln East. On the year, Van Tuyker, a .376 hitter. 101 at bats, 38 hits. He's driven in 33 runs. Runner on second is Clokey. After catcher Kidd reached base, Clokey was tabbed to run for him. Van Tuyker takes outside, ball 1. We're in the top of the 4th inning with Millard West leading Lincoln East 2-0. Shortridge stepped off, finds his way back to the mound. It's Kai Berkey responsible for holding Clokey at second base right now. Trail runner is Jake Blackman. There's a back pick to second base. Clokey back in plenty of time. A lot of attention paid to the runners. A lot of pickoff moves from Lincoln East so far. Clokey a late lead. Shortridge slide step delivery. Van Tuyker, big swing and a big miss. That puts Shortridge up in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It feels like this is a pretty monumental moment in the game, right? Millard West has a chance to really put a crooked number here in the top of the 4th if they get a base hit or even a gapper. You're talking about a 4-run differential instead of just 2 runs. Big opportunity for Paul Shortridge and Lincoln East too.
2 on, 2 out, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shortridge a long look. He kicks and fires. Van Tuyker gets a piece, fouls it back to the netting. We'll do it again at 1 and 2.
Especially with this part of the lineup up, right? It's if let's say Van Tuyker gets a base knock here, you score 1 if you're Millard West. Well, now you have the heart of the order in 3, 4, 5 coming up to the plate to face Paul Shortridge. If not, you get out of it unscathed, and Paul Shortridge has to deal with the heart of the order next inning.
We'll go again at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Shortridge breaking ball in the dirt, gets past Worthley. He can't find it. Both runners will advance. Now second and third. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Van Tuyker. Nick, those could be crucial 90 feet if Van Tuyker's able to just poke a little single.
Now you don't need a gapper. Right? And once again, things that cannot happen if you're a catcher, allowing a ball to go through your 5-hole, underneath your glove, in between your legs. We saw it also. Worthley didn't keep his chin down, and you know that because he stood up instantly, had no idea where the baseball was. It was right beneath his feet. Great ball and dirt read by the runners as well.
The runners are Clokey and Blackman. Batter Van Tuyker. Shortridge breaking ball. Hit up the middle. Senstock has a go off his glove. He picks it up. Not in time. Van Tuyker, 2 at-bats in a row, reaches on an error. Nick, that's about as routine as they'll get. Senstock took his eyes off of it, didn't have it squeezed, dropped it, nearly got Van Tuyker anyways, but that's where those extra 90 feet make a difference as Millard West tacks 1 on to their lead.
There you go. Yeah, the extra 90 feet, right? Nobody scores if that's the case. And honestly, Senstock's probably allowed to step on second base for the final out of the inning, even though he muffed it and he bobbled it. But instead, I think that one might have had some funky spin on it because that was hit off the end of the bat. It sounded weird. It was hit off the cap of Van Tuyker's bat. And I believe that that might have had some funky spin on it. Just spun off the glove of Senstock. Disappointing play if you're the Spartans fans.
That run will go down as unearned, so it won't go against Carter Mick because the arrow did allow the run to score. Moffitt, aggressive on the first pitch, fouls it off, pops it up on the right side.
Baseball's a funny game, Austin, right? Like there's a chance that if let's say the game ends with the current score line or stat line, right, where 2 errors for Lincoln East, 1 for Millard West, I wouldn't be surprised if this one is the differential is 2, right? Because those 2 runs are massive in a state championship game.
Inning still alive for Moffitt. He takes a changeup off the outside part of the plate. Count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. (3-0) Millard West, top of the 4th inning. Austin Orman, Nick Sainert with you. Shortridge, deep breath. He's set at his belt. Long look over to first base. Second look over to first base. Now he delivers. That pitch low. 2-1 to Moffitt.
We usually see Paul Shortridge mix up the timings. He's one of the best that I've actually ever seen at the high school level of mixing up timings, short slide step, extended leg, like things like that. Here, he just doesn't seem very comfortable. Millard West putting some good swings on him, too.
He peeks at Van Tyker. Moffitt chops it. Senstock will get another shot at it. Glove on the ground. Throws on the run. Stretched by Avasco in time for out number 3. But not before Millard West adds one to their lead. It's 3-0 Wildcats as we're halfway home in the Class A state title game at Werner Park. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman with you. Ben Droz back in the studio. We'll go to break. Be back for the home half of the fourth right after this.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Number 18, J.D. Moffitt atop the mound for Millard West as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. His task, 2, 3, 4, Berkey, Avasco, and Springer. He handled them well the first time up. Berkey reached on an error by second baseman Mike Valdivia. He got A.J. Avasco to hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Pretty efficient day for Moffitt so far. Not even up to 60 pitches.
The book is closed on Carter Mick for Lincoln East. 3 1/3, 5 hits allowed, 3 runs. 1 of those were earned. And then 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. I mean, once again, you take away the 2 unearned runs for Carter Mick, and you sit there and go, man, I feel like it was a pretty good performance against the second best team in the state. It just looks bad on the scoreboard if you're Lincoln East because Moffitt is having his way with you, number 1. And number 2, you're still hitless through 3 innings of play.
5 pitches is all it took for Lincoln East to go down in order last inning. I would not be shocked to see Kai Berkey with a more patient approach.
And once again, like this now is the second time through the order. You've seen J.D. Moffitt. You've had a chance to converse with your teammates. You got to get something going.
Berkey waggles that red bat, ducks out of the way of a breaking ball that didn't. First pitch of the inning is a ball.
And it's so difficult, right? Because Millard West, similar to Lincoln East, does every little thing well. That's why it's uncharacteristic that the Spartans have 2 errors through 4 innings of play.
Fastball on the outer half hits the chalk from Moffitt. He spotted that one pretty well, 1-1. Berkey wears number 1, flares that one to right field. Not the best read out there in right by Chance Roberts, but he was playing positioned well enough. Didn't matter. Kai Berkey's little flare to right field falls into the leather for out number 1.
Because now you're sitting up at the scoreboard if you're Coach Michael Lanick going, okay, you're calculating how many outs do we have remaining? How many outs have we already used? How many missed opportunities have we had, both in the field and at the plate? And it can really start to eat at you in the later innings.
10 outs used up of the 21 for Lincoln East. A.J. Avasco comes to the plate. He takes a breaking ball in the dirt for ball 1. Avasco, tall kid. I might have mentioned this earlier. Stance reminds me a bit of Bryce Harper, the way he's curled up, coiled up, very bent. That kind of wraps around his head a little bit.
K-State guy. Going to go down to the Little Apple.
Takes a fastball at the knees for strike 1. That's a good spot there for Moffitt, Nick.
Yeah.
Low, it's at the knees. That's a pitch that a lot of hitters will either top or try too hard to lift. Moffitt, the righty, to Avasco, the lefty. There's the line drive back up the box. A.J. Avasco has the first hit of the day for the Spartans.
So there you go, right? Now you're still in the heart of your order. Cleanup hitter Garrett Springer coming up to the plate. Now it's all right, what can Garrett Springer do? Number one, how does J.D. Moffitt respond to a runner on base? Not the biggest running threat in A.J. Avasco, but Lincoln East has to start getting stuff going or something going, as that's your first hit in 3 1/3.
There's a saying in baseball, get them on, get them over, get them in. Lincoln East accomplished step 1. Steps 2 and 3 yet to be written. Not a threatening lead from Avasco over at first base. Moffitt doesn't even check him. Stares at the batter, stares his catcher. Kidd, backhanded pick. He got away with it there, Nick. I don't know if we love Kidd with the left-handed stab across his body.
Yeah, especially with Avasco at first, right? You don't need to body it up perfectly. You just need to get a chest protector, your glove, your face mask, something on that baseball, keep it in front of you, keep Avasco at first.
Springer in the box wearing number 19, righty-righty matchup. Takes a fastball lone out for ball 2.
Right? These last 2, we've seen J.D. Moffitt speed up, right? And there's no reason to change the tempo, right? It's not Jeter Worthy over there. That's not a knock against A.J. Avasco, but also you have a guy in Sam Kidd behind the plate who has a pretty good cannon.
Moffitt misses again, 3-0. Now what you want to do with a 3-run lead here, Nick, is give Lincoln East another base runner for free.
And this is what Lincoln East does so well. They're never out of it. They are never out of it. You're going to look up at the scoreboard here in a couple innings and go, how is Lincoln East still in this game? They've played it poorly defensively. They've had to change pitchers. How are they still in this game? But it's because of things like this. They take advantage of miscues that the opponent does.
Springer works the walk. That'll move Avasco up to second base. 2 on with 1 out for Millard. West, here's the thing, Nick. It's a perfect opportunity for Lincoln East. There's a runner in scoring position. Probably not going to get it back with one swing of the bat from Peltz, but we have seen J.D. Moffitt induce a ground ball double play to get out of an inning.
I also wouldn't be surprised if we see Dele Odulate at some point here in the coming minutes, right? Dele Odulate is a guy that they love to use off the bench, Lincoln East, who is a maniac on the base paths. Extremely quick, he puts a lot of pressure on the opponent and pitcher. I feel like this is a perfect spot to use him. You can re-enter guys. Now, unfortunately, you could only use Dele once as there's a conversation on the mound. But, man, there's a great opportunity here to maybe put Dele at second base and say, we're going to let you go to work, my man, and score us a run.
The conversation being had here for Lincoln East is this the best opportunity we're going to get? Will we need him later? Because you would hate to not use him, and this is your best opportunity and let a chance to score a run go. But you'd hate even more if you get down to a run game, you have the slow Vasco at second base, and you're unable to run for him, or you have to put in a different, not quite as fast runner. Just had a conversation on the mound here. Earlier in the game, we saw Millard West trot a couple guys out to the bullpen. I know Caden Dreesen was there doing the bullpen catching, and I believe it was Ben Sturbins, number 11, who made the jog out to center field.
And that's the thing. I think, as I've kind of been thinking out loud here, Vasco staying at second, he runs well enough. The outfield is pretty far back. They're going to probably surrender a base hit, will allow Vasco to score to maybe keep Springer at second base.
No doubles alignment right now. Taking away the left field line, a lot of room in left center field, though, Nick. So Peltz, a lefty. If he can get something on the outer half of the plate and get it over Tyson Lewis's head, that could get the runner from first to third as well. Moffitt just fired in a strike and a streak of 5 straight balls. It's 1-1 to Peltz. Moffitt a couple peeks back at Avasco at second base. Out of the stretch, Kidd, good block, keeps it in front of him. Avasco saw it. He read it down. He didn't see it away. Good job of holding up at second base.
Yeah, great read by Avasco at second, right? And a better block behind the dish by Sam Kidd. Springer not the quickest at first base, right? So he won't be on Avasco's tail necessarily, but certainly going to need to kick it in gear if Peltz can find a gap.
Peltz, the left fielder, awaits the delivery from Moffitt. Missed outside, 3-1.
Yeah, Moffitt struggling to find it here ever since a runner got on, and that's why that first hit of the game was so crucial for Lincoln East. Finally got one here in the bottom of the fourth, and now Moffitt struggling to find the strike zone at 3 balls from strike.
Not like J.D. Moffitt's never faced a runner on base before, but it's the state tournament game. Your team's clinging to a 3-run lead, and now the bases are full. A single from A.J. Avasco, walks drawn by Springer and Peltz, and the bases are loaded for Owen Lassick. He flew out to left field at his first at bat in the second inning.
Well, and see, we saw it in the Norris game back when it was much tighter than a 12-7 ball game. We saw it to where all 4 walks that Norris allowed, Gretna East scored on. Things like this matter the most. We cannot reiterate enough. I feel like I sound like a broken record if somebody's been listening for the last week or so. But these errors, the walks, those things come back to bite you. And good teams like Lincoln East and vice versa, good teams like Millard West find ways to make you pay.
Steve Frey out of the Millard West dugout. That'll do it. That's the second mound visit of the inning. So J.D. Moffitt's day is done. We'll tell you how it went, introduce you to the new Wildcat pitcher when we return in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Thanks for listening to 93.7 The Ticket's coverage of state baseball here from Warner Park, Tal Anderson Field as well throughout the week. I'm Austin Norman. Nick Sainer to my left. Appreciate him tabbing me. Come along for the ride. New pitcher on the mound for Millard West. It is indeed number 11, Ben Sturbins. He's a senior pitcher and outfielder on the year. Only one win, but an ERA of 1.75. Different look than J.D. Moffitt as well. Sturbins not as tall. Velocity probably similar. Got to put some effort into that delivery. His stance on the mound is pretty closed. So, as we look at the situation for Lincoln East, A.J. Vasco stands at third base. He's single to get things going with one out for Lincoln East. Nick, we were talking about this before. Dele Odolate now inserted into the game. He will run for Springer at second base. I could have seen the argument for him to go maybe when Springer was at first base, potentially beat out any ground ball double play. But I like the idea of him at second base now because a simple base hit is as good as 2 runs as is.
I would absolutely agree. Great game management and a little bit of risk reward by Coach Lonick, right? If that inning would have, if that at bat by Troy Peltz would have went any different, maybe you don't use him here, but that's a big second run out there at second base.
So here's Sturbins, close stance, pumps the arms, comes set, high leg kick, first pitch dropped, but it's outside anyways, ball 1. Owen Lassick, the batter, by the way, 20 runs driven in on the year.
Real interesting delivery. Not good, not necessarily bad, just impartial on that delivery by the pitcher for Millard West. Comes over the top, but kind of snaps the wrist.
Swung on and missed. Looks like he got him with a breaking ball there, Nick, for strike 1.
Really hides the ball well until the last moment, right? And so that is very difficult, especially a righty-righty matchup like you have here with Owen Lassick.
So Vasco single, Springer walk, Peltz walk. Here's Owen Lassick, righty-righty matchup. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Sam Kidd. 2-1.
Got to be able to throw a strike, though, if you're Sturbins here. Nowhere to put him.
Don't need a strikeout necessarily as a ball in play. You concede the run. Fastball low and out. 3-1. Sturbins has not had it through his first 4 pitches. And like you said, nowhere to put him. Lincoln East student section might be able to hear chanting, asking for ball 4. Who do they think they are? Texas A&M. That one swung on, fouled off to the right side by Lassig. Count runs full.
Student section. Nobody's got hands over there in the Millard West student section.
That is why they are in the student section.
That is true.
We'll have a payoff pitch here at 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, Millard West. 3-0 lead, but the bases are full of Spartans. Here's Sturbins. He's set, letter high. Kicks the left leg, fires home. Taken outside, ball 4. Owen Lassig trots down to first base. A.J. Avasco trots in to score. Lincoln East on the board.
Don't forget, prior to this inning, Lincoln East didn't have a single run. Single hit, rather. Single hit. A.J. Avasco had a 1-out base knock up the middle. That was fine. That's not what hurt Millard West. It's the back-to-back-to-back base-on balls that have hurt you, and that have spanned now over 2 pitchers.
That brings up Joey Senstock. He's a shortstop. Wears number 4, another righty-righty matchup. Fastball taken right down Broadway for strike 1.
Now, just because there are 3 straight walks doesn't mean you can't be looking to be that 4th straight. You still need that mental approach of yes, no, at the last moment against against Ben Sturbins.
Senstock's a Nebraska commit. He stands in the right-handed batter's box. Watches another fastball go. That one over the outside corner for strike 2. Senstock kind of nodded his head like, yeah, that might have been my pitch to shoot to right field.
This could really turn the inning. This at-bat right here from Joey Senstock.
No balls, 2 strikes. Sturbin set to deliver the 0-2 pitch. Fouled off down the right field line. Caught by Green, except the Green is seats. Bounces back in the field play. That'll be Chance Roberts hustling to retrieve it. If you're Senstock here, Nick, I think that right side is your approach. Not the strongest guy, not the most powerful guy. Your job, I think, here is to try to get something through that right side. Or lift it deep enough for a sacrifice fly at the very least.
Exactly. You have Dele Odilate on third base.
Here's Sturbins. Fastball up. Senstock lays off 1 and 2.
Really like that pitch, right? Because now I would not be opposed to seeing them go right back to that elevated fastball. Senstock's going to be thinking breaker, breaker, breaker. I would not be opposed to seeing them either jam them on the hands or go high heat from Ben Sturbins.
You're maybe a little skeptical of breaking ball 2 with good speed at third. Here's Sturbins, goes with the fastball, just missed his spot on the outside corner, counts 2 and 2.
Just missed. Good spot by Ben Sturbins. Once again, I still think Joey Senstock has not been able to see your fastball out of your hand. Neither, even the previous batter, Owen Lasik, struggled to see fastball. You hide it so well if you're Ben Sturbins. Stick with what you do best.
Here's Sturbins 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Senstock geared up for it, but he missed it. Put a pull swing on an outside pitch. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Nice spot. That was just a little closer to being on the zone. I don't think it would have been a called strike, but it was that fastball that just kind of painted. It was flat, but in a good way off the hand of Ben Sturbins. Now he's got the lefty Gaines up. I would not be surprised. Fastball. Stick with the fastball if you're Millard West. Lincoln East still only has 1 hit. They're only in this position because you could not throw a strike. Make them prove to you that they can hit your fastball consistently.
Gaines wears number 11. He's a lefty. Sturbins wears number 11. He's on the mound as a righty. Gaines waggles the bat. Sturbins kicks and delivers. Fastball taken up and out for a ball. Three to 1. Millard West over Lincoln East in the bottom of the 4th. Gaines batting in the 8th spot in the lineup. Grounded out to second, his first at bat. Swung on, chopped, going to be a tough play. On comes Van Tyker. He doesn't call for it. Now he gets domed by his pitcher. Bad communication by Millard West. Ben Sturbins tries to be the hero, make the tough play. Nick, I think that's got to be Van Tyker's ball all the way.
I do too. And I was just about to say, right, it doesn't have to be pretty. Like, they don't Millard West hasn't played perfect baseball either. And so we've said so much about how Lincoln East hasn't done this. Lincoln East hasn't done this. I would be remiss if I said Millard West has played perfect baseball. They have not. They've just been better offensively and on the base paths. But now here you have it. This is a big opportunity here for the 9-hole hitter, Tanner Peterson. Oh, looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter instead. They're going to call on the designated hitter, and it's going to be Carter McPeak, the number 2 guy. He got the start last Friday before you started joining me, Austin, as the designated hitter. Carter McPeak has had an incredible year in a few at-bats, hitting .484 with 31 at-bats on the season.
Big spot for him here. A right-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher. Lincoln East has put 2 runs on the board, their first 2 hits on the day.
McPeak on Friday went 0 for 4, 3 flyouts, twice to the second baseman, 1 to the right fielder. He also struck out looking in the second inning against Millard North. So 0 for 4, that's the only time he's seen in the state tournament. He got the start on Friday, has not played since except in a pinch hitting role, which here he is with the bases loaded.
Bases loaded with Spartans. Number 1 seed in Class A trails by a run in the bottom half of the 4th. Ben Sturbin's first pitch, a fastball on the outside corner. McPeak watches it for a strike.
Really nice job by Sturbins. Get on top of the count early.
Opens up your whole arsenal. Peltz is at second. Or Peltz is at third, I should say. Lassig at second. McPeak chops it to third. Van Tyker on it. He'll take it to third himself for out number 3. Lincoln East draws within 1. It's 3-2. Second-seeded Millard West leading the top-seeded Spartans in the Class A State Baseball Tournament. More Class A State Baseball on the other side on 93.7 The Ticket.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Lincoln East draws to within 1 as we head to the 5th inning. Paul Shortridge out for a second inning of work. I'm Moss Norman. Nick Stainer will have the play-by-play call here. Nick, Paul Shortridge thrown into a tough situation, allowed only one of the inherited runners to score, and it wasn't even on him. It was an error, an unearned run. Yeah, and that's been the kind of the name of the game, right? So let's talk about what we just kind of discussed. Doesn't have to be pretty for Lincoln East to get back into this game. They called the Mason Gaines chopper that there was miscommunication between Van Tyker and Sturbins on a hit. All right, so let's just look at the scoreboard. However you wanted to rule that one, that's fine. I think the hit's the right call. Mm-hmm. But now you take away 1, 2 of those Lincoln East errors, and either Lincoln East is tied or they're in front by 1 run. That is why the bouncer, the chopper, the routine play to send stock at short should be completed. That's why their play it from third base, Tanner Peterson, should be completed. Those things come back to bite you in the biggest moments in the state championship game. Here's a well-hit ball left field off the bat of Valdivia, but Troy Peltz is there 1 step in front of the warning track in left field for out number 1. A well-hit ball by Valdivia. The wind has died down a little bit, still blowing out to left field. But now that brings up Caden Struck with 1 out. Probably the best at bat we've seen from Valdivia today. Struck out, did get walked. Or no, the triple. Just kidding. That's not even close to the best at bat. Mm-hmm. What am I saying?
1 out here. Top of the 5th as the first pitch strike from Paul Shortridge. No balls, 1 strike. So Paul Shortridge in for Carter Mick in relief. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. 0-1-1. The 1-1 offering. Change up on the outside part of the plate. 1-2. So Paul Shortridge trying to work a clean fifth, as that's just outside, ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Caden struck at the plate, fouled back. We'll do it again at 2-2.
Told you about Shortridge working quick. He is very purposeful with his movements. He gets that ball, he is back on the mound. The sign is in immediately, and he's ready to go.
And Struck chops this one in front. Worthley throws, fires down to first in time for out number 2. 2-3 on the putout. Nice job hopping out of the stance by Jeter Worthley behind the dish, and a good job making an accurate throw. That's a lot tougher than people think, because they have to establish a lane. Jeter Worthley does, find that first baseman inside, and make an accurate throw so your first baseman doesn't have to work across the foul line. Brings up Chance Roberts. Roberts on the day, 0 for 2. He flew out to right and then grounded out to the first baseman. The first pitch, this one, jam shot into shallow center field. Senstock is there, and Paul Shortridge works a clean top of the 5th inning. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Due up, it is the top of the order for the Spartans. Worthley, Berkey, and A.J. Avasco when we come back on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to a beautiful night at Warner Park here, as the sun is set, the lights are on, and good baseball on the field between the Spartans and the Wildcats. Nick Sainert alongside Austin Orman, and Ben Sturbin's out for another inning of work in relief of J.D. Moffitt. So once again, it is the top of the order coming up for the Spartans, and it's Jeter Worthley. Jeter Worthley, the future Michigan Wolverine, trotting up to the plate. He'll step into that right-handed batter's box, takes a practice swing, wears number 42. Jeter Worthley. Quite the football quarterback for the Spartans as well in the fall. The first pitch from Sturbins. On the outside corner, strike one. Really nice pitch to start this bottom of the 5th inning for Ben Sturbins. Jeter Worthley at the plate. The 0-1 in the dirt, ball 1. Jeter on the day, 0 for 1. He walked to start the game on 5 pitches. It was a little concerning for J.D. Moffitt right out of the gate, but he settled in nicely. The 1-1, breaking ball, just upstairs, ball 2. And then he ended up flying out to the second baseman to end the 3rd inning. 2 balls, 1 strike, the pitch from Sturbins. Just outside, 3-1. And once again, we say it every single time we're in a 3-1 situation or a potential ball 4 opportunity for Jeter Worthley. You do not want to just give him a free bag. As 3-1 pitch in there for a strike, 3-2, and Worthley's got to collect his thoughts after he had just drawn a 5-pitch walk. Once again, that was on the corner. Interesting to see the strike call against the catcher. But the 3-2 pitch here from Sturbins. Big pitch in the 5th. Fouled off right side into the stands. Heads up. And that will be a foul ball.
Watching the sequence here, Nick, it's been a lot of fastballs and one breaking ball. 3-2, you don't want to put Worthley on, but you also don't want to throw him a meatball fastball.
3-2 pitch from Sturbins. Swung on and missed, but not able to be held on to by Sam Kidd behind the dish. So Worthley has another life.
Second one of those Kidd has dropped tonight.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch here with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sturbins out of the windup to Jeter Worthley. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Jeter Worthley goes down swinging. And Sturbins comes back from being down 3-1 in the count to strike Jeter Worthley out swinging for out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th.
Stayed in attack mode with that fastball. Said, hit this if you can. Jeter Worthley unable to catch up to the slightly elevated heater.
So now Kai Berkey coming up to the plate. Kai is 0 for 2. He reached on an error back in the 1st inning. Flew out to the right fielder in the 4th. He actually started the 4th inning last inning. First pitch, swung on and missed. 0-1.
Went after a breaking ball, low and away first pitch.
No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Sturbins delivers. Low in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Sturbins lifts the leg out of the windup, hits the corner, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out for Ben Sturbins on the mound. The pitch, breaking ball, up out of the zone, ball 2.
Not sure Kidd had to hop out of his stance as quickly as he did. That ball didn't have a chance to drop back to the strike zone, but just on principle, stay in your squat.
Kai Berkey wants to call a time. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count, 1 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Sturbins delivers, fouled off to the right side, just out of the reach of the first baseman for the Millard West Wildcats. That is Caden Struck.
Struck not exactly guarding the line, but he's close enough that that ball is pretty clearly foul off the bat.
Step and a dive, and it was just out of his reach. It was a later call by the umpire. He was somewhat delayed on that call. We saw it from up here plenty early that it was tailing foul. Good call.
To be fair, the umpire was trying to get out of Struck's way.
Yes. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kai Berkey. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sturbins delivers. This one, floater out to right field. And the right fielder is under it. Chance Roberts collects it for out number 2. Second fly out to the right fielder of the game for Kai Berkey.
Roberts made the catch, but you saw him stumble a little bit, Nick. I don't know, even in the clear night sky, if Chance Roberts is seeing the ball off the bat as clearly as he might like.
So now A.J. Avasco comes up to the plate. A.J. singled last inning with 1 out. He was the first Spartan to get a hit in today's game. And here he takes ball 1 low and in.
More importantly, the first Spartan to score. You put that pressure you're talking about on J.D. Moffitt, who hadn't pitched out of the stretch outside of 1 batter and really 1 pitch.
So A.J. Avasco, the left-handed hitter. A.J. with 8 home runs on the season. The pitch. Low and away, ball 2. Spartans still trail by 1 run. 3-2. Millard West out in front by 1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. We play 7. As the pitch on 2-0, hammered up the middle. A diving stop by the second baseman, but now it bounces off of Valdivia's glove. And he was not able to hold on to that one. He had a chance to get A.J. Avasco at first base, but as soon as it trapped it, it's almost like it was hit so well on the screws, but on the ground that as soon as it trapped, he just didn't squeeze it quick enough, and it popped right out over to the shortstop, Tyson Lewis. So A.J. Avasco with another base knock and a 2-out single for Garrett Springer. Here is the pitch from Sturbins to Springer. Hammered, right side base knock. Avasco. He'll have to stop at second base, but now it's Troy Peltz time as Troy Peltz walks up, grabs the bat, and Spartans have runners on first and second base with 2 outs.
Nice piece of hitting there by Springer. Got the fastball he was looking for first pitch. Didn't try to do too much with it. Now some game pressure here on Sturbins, Nick. Not the fastest guy in Avasco. It is going to take probably something toward a gap, not directly at a fielder to score him. But if you're Millard West and you're Ben Sturbins, this has to stop now.
So no balls, no strikes. Troy Peltz, the 2025 Husker baseball commit, steps in at the box. The pitch, blown away, ball 1. Springer, I really like the approach from Garrett Springer there as he attacked the first pitch of the at-bat, a fastball, and hit it the opposite way for a base knock. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch to Peltz. Swung on it, fouled back. Might have gotten a piece of Sam Kidd behind the dish, but he looks to be okay. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Sainert, Austin Orman, Ben back in our 93.7 The Ticket studios. Austin and I are at Warner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Low and away, ball 2. And Owen Lasig is on deck. Owen flew out and walked his last time up. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners are on first and second, in Avasco at second and Springer at first. And now Peltz needs to call time as Sturbins was taking too long. He sets back in. Avasco leads off a second. Springer didn't move off of first. 2 balls, 1 strikes, 2 outs. Coach Lanik down there at third base, coaching his guys with his body facing Avasco at second, and watches Peltz take strike 2 on a fastball 2-2.
That's a good strike given that Peltz is a bit of a pull hitter, right? He wants to try to yank something to the right side. The danger is if he sits back and waits, there's a lot of room in that left center field gap.
As Troy Peltz, the 2-2 pitch, swung on, rollover, ground ball, Valdivia fires over to first in time, and Millard West gets out of the inning, and they hang a 0 in the bottom of the 5th. We go to the 6th, as Millard West will send hitters 7, 8, and 9 to the plate in Kidd, Williams, and Blackman. When we come back, Austin Orman will take care of things for you in the top of the 6th inning. It's 3-2 Millard West in the Class A state championship game.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial or residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Austin Orman with you. All right, behind home plate here at Warner Park. Beautiful night of baseball. Sun is completely set. It's dusk here in Papillion. Paul Shortridge retakes the mound. He's thrown 20 pitches in his first couple innings of work. His first pitch, a breaking ball to Sam Kidd, just inside for ball 1. Kidd doubled his previous at bat. Was pinch run for by Bennett Cloakey, who came around to score. Kidd waves at a breaking ball. No contact for strike 1. It's 3-2 Millard West. Top of the 6th inning. Another ball hit well by Kidd, but he just got underneath. But ranging over is the left fielder, Peltz. No problem on that fly ball for the first out of the 6th inning. So Kidd flies out to left field. He's pulled the ball all 3 times that he's been up. And Nick, as you look at this bottom of the order, not a lot doing, right? Jackson Williams due up. He went ground out to third and struck out. You'd like to think if you're Millard West, you're looking for insurance. You think 1, 2, 3 at the top of your order with your college guys is where it gets started. But I think if Millard West wants to get a rally going, I think you want to get one of these next 2 guys on for the top of the lineup instead of having Tyson Lewis try to lead it off and do it himself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And Millard West, I'm sure if you ask Steve Frey, wants to get some insurance runs because 3-2, a 1-run cushion isn't much of a cushion against an offense like Lincoln East.
It's 1-1 to Williams. Breaking ball misses. It's 2-1.
The inside part of the plate has almost been non-existent today. And so either side struggling to establish something on the inside part of the plate on the corner. So maybe that's a mental note for some of these guys.
There's a base hit by Williams. He stretched those arms out, poked it into left center field. Now the ball gets away. It's going to roll all the way to the on-deck circle. Jalen Worthley has it. Here's Williams. He makes it all the way to third base. A mental error by Lincoln East. A throwing error with a mental error. Nick, there was no one backing up. Worthley busted his butt down the first baseline. How does that ball get from left center field to the first base on deck circle?
I don't know. Here comes Coach Michael Lonick to have, I would assume, a very colorful conversation, which is okay, right? Because this is the biggest moment of the game right here. That is a play by Jackson Williams that wins state championships, and vice versa. That is a play from Lincoln East that loses state championship games. Jackson Williams could have just trotted into second after having extra base. He would have been just fine, but he instead took an aggressive hard turn around second base. Notice that Jeter Worthley hadn't gotten the ball yet when he was about 40 feet off of second base and just beelined it for third base. It's that mentality, those types of plays that allow you now to have a hitter up with 1 out and a runner 90 feet away from giving you a 2-run lead.
If Williams hesitates for even one step, he's out. Worthley made it closer than I thought he was going to. Williams can run. He's got speed. That brings up Jake Blackman. He's lined out and walked so far today. Infield drawn in for Lincoln East. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Beautiful breaking ball snapped off there by Shortridge for strike 1.
Yeah, Williams can run extremely well. We've seen it on the football field. A very athletic wide receiver. Took one back, broke Southwest hearts just 2 years ago at Seacrest Field.
Paul Shortridge on the mound. He delivers the 1-0 pitch. Another breaking ball. That's a beauty. 2 in a row snapped off to Jake Blackman. Not much he's going to be able to do with that if Paul Shortridge keeps locating it.
Well, and I mean, in all honesty, too, Paul Shortridge just might have to go out there and say, I'm going to do it myself. And he's got that capability. It's just a lot more difficult for Lincoln East.
2 breaking balls for 2 strikes. Shortridge brings a fastball low and out. Not sure if that's where he wanted that one, Nick. I think if you're going fastball, you probably like to elevate that one after 2 breaking balls down.
I also I'm surprised by the fastball call there. Stick with the curveball. It's been working. Blackman can't get a read on it because now it's almost a given that, hey, there's probably a breaking ball coming.
Here's Shortridge. He said it, Bill. That's a long pause and a deep breath. There's a breaking ball inside. Blackman jumped out of the way just enough. Yep. I think if he stands his ground, he might be standing on first base right now.
Stands his ground, turns back towards us here in the press box. But once again, that pitch didn't miss too far on the inner half.
No.
By rule in the NSA high school baseball, that's a strike. That would have been inside the chalk of the batter's box. That would have been a strike, which ultimately strike 3. But the inside corner has not been there for either side tonight.
Blackman takes a short timeout. He's back in the box. Again, infield drawn in with the speedy Jackson Williams at third base for Millard West. Wildcats clinging to a one-run lead 3-2. Here's Shortridge, slide step, fastball up and out, count runs full. All right, Nick, after 2 straight breaking balls for strikes to start the at-bat, Blackman looked like he didn't want anything to do with them. 3 straight fastballs have been out of the zone. Do you go back to the breaking ball or do you challenge for the fastball?
Well, here's the thing. I think you go breaking ball. Blackman hasn't been able to see it, and he's bailed out of the way, and that's what they do.
They go with the breaking ball, just missed off the outside corner. That'll put runners on the corners for Millard West, and the top of the lineup due up with number 9, Tyson Lewis.
And if I'm Lincoln East here, I'm playing corners defense or corners in, right? Because, and frankly, with the middle infield guys, I'm almost playing halfway, not normal depth, not double play depth, but also not in on the cut. And the reason I say that is because Tyson Lewis runs extremely well. And how about this? They're going to have an entire conversation, Millard West is, between Tyson Lewis, Jackson Williams, Nick Van Tyker, the 3 coaches from the first base and third base side. They want to know and make sure everybody is on the same exact page on what's going to happen. Do we see a first and third type of play offensively where Blackman tries to get into a rundown? And we might see something like that. They might give Tyson Lewis the take sign so that, let's say, on first movement, we see Blackman go before the pitch, get into a rundown. If Lincoln East awards him second base, that's great. If not, then then you get into a rundown long enough so Jackson Williams can score. Ultimately enough, I'm not sure I'm a fan of the middle infielders playing back because Tyson Lewis runs so well.
First pitch from George, a breaking ball skied to right field. Lassick drifts back. He's at the warning track. He makes the catch. Blackman will retreat to first. Williams back to third and now in. Tyson Lewis missed a home run by maybe a degree or 2 of launch angle off the bat, but he does his job anyways, Nick. He extends his team's lead to 4-2.
There you go. And you had the guy you wanted up. You had a guy up that is going to be drafted in a couple of weeks in the first or second round. They're going to appeal to third base to make sure Jackson Williams didn't leave early, and he did not.
I think that's just a
formality.
A formality. Thank you. So Millard West gets one of the runs back. They now lead at 4-2. Tyson Lewis homered in this park just a few nights ago. That brings up Nick Van Tyker with 2 outs. Van Tyker on the day has singled and reached on 2 errors. He hits that one down the line in left field. Blackman scoots around second. He goes to third, and now Van Tyker, great backside base running. He gets to second base. He's pumped up. He waves his arms, gets the dugout going. Millard West right back in business.
Yeah, this inning's far from over. I was just about to say that with Nick Van Tyker up. Van Tyker gets a base hit. It was a good job by Troy Peltz getting it in. He hit his cutoff, and Joey Senstock down the third base line. They held Blackman at third base, which I think was the right call. Why? Because guess what? Just because J.D. Moffitt is no longer pitching, you now have J.D. Moffitt, the designated hitter, in. This is why he's still your cleanup hitter. He's still in the lineup, or rather 3-hole hitter. He's still in the lineup, and now Lincoln East has to get J.D. Moffitt out because it doesn't get any easier. You either face Moffitt or you face the Tulane commit in Valdivia. You need to get J.D. Moffitt out if you're Lincoln East.
Moffitt attempted a sacrifice bunt in his first inning, didn't get down, and goes down as a fielder's choice. He singled and grounded out to shortstop. He takes strike 1 from Paul Shortridge.
Not to mention the hypothetical scenario. Moffitt gets a base hit. We know how well Van Tyker runs. That is Millard West's chance to put the doubt into Lincoln East's minds that they can come back. A 6-2 ball game is very different than a 4-2 ball game.
Moffitt swings righty. Shortridge pitches lefty. Breaking ball missed up and out of the zone. Ball 1. 4-2 Wildcats. Moffitt, as of now, would be in line to get the win in the state championship game as the pitcher. Here's Paul Shortridge. He's in his 3rd inning of work. Next pitch will be the 18th of the inning. Set of the belt. Delivers. Good block by Worthley. That saved a run.
Great body behind the plate. Great job by Jeter Worthy. Great angle with the chest protector. That ball dead-end right in front of home plate, just like you wanted it, and kept Blackman at third, and then obviously Van Tyker at second as a result.
Neither guy is good a runner as Jackson Williams is, but still plenty fast enough to score on a ball to the backstop. 2-1 the count. J.D. Moffitt stands in the batter's box. Waggles his arms and his bat. Shortridge set. Here comes the 2-1. Breaking ball popped up right side. Vasco running after. He settles in the first base coach's box. Tumbles backward. but makes the catch. Good job by Paul Shortridge to limit the damage to just one run. Millard West adds one to their lead. It is 4-2 Wildcats as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. For Lincoln East, it'll be Lassig, Senstock, and Gaines when we return in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Millard West 4, Lincoln East 2. I'm Austin Norman, joining the booth by Nick Sainert. Ben Sturbins returns to the mound. This will be his 3rd inning of work for Millard West. 4 runs on 7 hits, 1 error for the Wildcats. 2 runs on 4 hits with 3 errors for Lincoln East. Great crowd on hand. The energy has remained high throughout the day. We were treated to a barn burner in the Class B state championship game just a few hours ago as Norris took down Gretna East. And I'm now officially mad at Lincoln East. They are doing the wave.
Oh, anti-wave. Are you an anti-wave?
Huge anti-wave.
I'm great. I'm thrilled that we are broadcast partners. Anti-wave here as well.
You can wave hello. You cannot do the wave.
Okay, now we got Millard West, too.
Why are we both getting in on this? This is a 2-run ball game in the 6th inning. This is
we are competitors, not allies.
This is an affront. Good pitch by Sturbins there. Strike 1 to Owen Lassig, who his 2 at-bats today have looked like a fly out to left, and he walked. Did not come around to score in that 2-run 2nd inning. He'll lead things off with a solid base rip to right field. Owen Lassig gets the Spartans started in the bottom of the 6th.
That's what you needed. And I say that because you haven't had that tonight. And lead off runners, right? You think back to the inning, the 4th inning where you scored 2 runs. You didn't even have a leadoff runner in that inning. This is the first time that Lincoln East has had their leadoff hitter on to start an inning. We'll see what they can do. Despite it being the bottom of their lineup, still can be deadly.
Looks like Coach Frey out of the dugout here for Millard West. Having a conversation with Ben Sturbins, shakes his hand, pats him on the back. We will have a pitching change.
I think they're going to go with Nick Van Tyker. I think they're going to give Nick Van Tyker the ball here.
Van Tyker's number on the year on the mound. He's 2-1 with an ERA under 2.
He has to get all the wrist tape off of his hand.
Give the sunglasses up as well.
They're going to bring in number 12 for Millard West, Dylan Swierczyk, who we saw pitch. They're going to bring him in as a 3rd baseman, it looks like, to replace Van Tyker at 3rd.
Let's step aside for 60 seconds, return to Werner Park here at 93.7 The Ticket.
On me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Old School with DP and J.
Very small percentage of players, coaches, administrators thinking like, I'm planting my flag here. Nick Saban's run probably won't happen. It takes a very unique person and personality to be comfortable where you are, be strong enough to push to get what you need, and then also be very strong enough in a player's standpoint to advocate for yourself at the right time.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Owen Lassig leads off the home half of the 6th inning with a single for Lincoln East. They trail Millard West 4-2. It is Nick Van Tyker on the mound. Couple defensive changes as well. J.D. Moffitt is now at first base, and as Nick mentioned, it's Swiersek over at third base. So I believe that means Caden Struck is done for the night. Swiersek should take his spot in the batting order. We'll just say you heard the voice of Jay Foreman there on an old school promo. Nick, I don't know about you, but Jay was giving me grief all week. Something about get off my airwaves, haven't had my show in a long time. I have my opinions to get out there.
That's crazy.
Hard guy to work with sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I also know Jay was golfing earlier this week as well in the afternoon, so we gave Jay an opportunity to golf. So
how kind of us.
Yep. And also, Jay was driving to Wichita, Kansas today as well. So once again, we allowed Jay to get to Wichita a little bit earlier than he would normally if he was doing the 4 to 6 show.
How benevolent.
But it's okay, Jay.
You do a lot for us. We do a lot for you. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Everything's about Jay.
Just ask him.
Instead of, we're just going to continue here. I mean, here's the thing, though, Austin, right? This one is clearly within reach. Lincoln East has done a good job in these last 3 innings, right? They've got their hit total up now. It's at 5. The errors have subsided partially. They've had 3 this game. This is now the inning, right? Once again, we look at these opportunities. Millard West missed one last inning where they had a better opportunity to maybe put up a crooked number. Now here's Lincoln East's turn right out of the gate. For the first time today, they have their leadoff runner on base.
Van Tyker's pitch, a fastball up and out for a ball. Tough day for Senstock. He's 0 for 2, flew out to right and struck out. Haven't seen a lot from Joey Senstock offensively in this whole state tournament, Nick.
No, it's been frustrating defensively, I think, too, for Joey Senstock, right? A couple of errors. He committed a couple of errors on Friday, as well against Millard North. It's been a tough couple of days for Joey Senstock in the field. At the plate, he's been serviceable, right? But now here's a big chance. Nobody talks about what happened recently if you can come in with another back-to-back singles here.
Lessig takes his lead at first. On a hop to Swiersek. He fields it. 5, 4, and 3. The baseball will find you as soon as you enter the game. It took 2 pitches for Dylan Swiersek to get tested. It's a double play that he starts around the diamond. 5-4-3. The tough night continues for Sunstock.
That ball was on a rope, and that hopped directly in front of Swiersek's left foot, his glove side foot, and he just stuck his glove out there. It wasn't even like an Olay, hey, look what I found. It was a solid, fundamental, great job by Dylan Swiersek coming in, ready to field the baseball and ready to make a play.
Leadoff base runner erased. Lincoln East quickly down to 4 outs remaining.
And great job by the pitcher, Sturbins, pitching to contact. This is the bottom of the order, nonetheless, right? Still ultimately talented, but still the bottom of the order. Allow your defense to work. That's what's got you here to a 4-2 lead.
Gaines is grounded out to second base and singled. He cuts through that pitch. He's now down 0-2. Here's Van Tyker out of the windup. Steps back with that left foot. 0-2 over the inside corner, but just off the plate. That's a really tough pitch to take if you're Mason Gaines, but also tough to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's one of those that it's probably going to go right back to Swiersek.
The 1-2 from Van Tyker. Back up the middle, sticks his glove up. Tyson Lewis ranging over. He can't get there. That ball through to center field. Good hustle by Jackson Williams and J.D. Moffitt covering second base, so Gaines didn't make the turn.
That's exactly what I was going to say. J.D. Moffitt realized that Tyson Lewis, his momentum took him all the way to right field. The second baseman, Valdivia, his momentum took him all the way to almost left center field, just because as they crisscrossed, that ball went into shallow center field. J.D. Moffitt instantly got on his horse because second base was vacated and busted his way down to second base. Great job and awareness by J.D. Moffitt at first.
Tanner Peterson stands in the right-handed batter's box. He takes ball 1. He's only had 1 at bat today. He grounded out to second base in the third inning. He was pinch hit for by Carter McPeak, who grounded out to Nick Van Tyker at third base to kill that rally after 2 Spartan runs. Van Tyker delivers to Peterson. There's a fastball over the outside corner, strike 1. Bottom of the lineup needs to come through here for Lincoln East if the Spartans want to keep this game really within reach. Breaking ball. Swung on. And they're going to say Kidd stuck his glove out. Yeah, Nick, he's shaking that left hand. That's catcher's interference. So Tanner Peterson reaches on catcher's interference, bringing up the top of the lineup and Jalen Worthley.
Here you go. So Jeter comes up to the plate, and Sam Kidd still trying to shake it off behind the dish. That was a curveball. It's hard to fault Kidd right there. The reason I say that, Tanner Peterson hit that ball, that breaking ball, so late. But that goes back to what I said with Jeter Worthley earlier. Catch that breaking ball deep, and the bat will never touch your hands, right? That was a ball, that was a breaking ball, left a little higher in the zone. It was going to float back over the heart of the plate. Tanner Peterson hit that so late, swung the bat so late. It basically took a straight shot to the Millard West dugout, and because of that, Sam Kidd stuck his left hand, that glove hand, out just a little too far, and bang, bat hits the hand.
All right, big moment here. Van Tyker, the Tulane commit, Worthley, the Michigan commit. Righty-righty matchup. On the day, Jeter Worthley officially 0 for 2. He had that 5-pitch walk. His first at bat, he's popped out to second base. He's struck out in the 5th. Worthley watches a breaking ball down and in for ball 1. Van Tyker, he's set. Very similar delivery to Sturbins. Chop to third base. Swiersek will step on third himself. 5 unassisted. And Lincoln East strands 2 runners. The baseball finds you. Dylan Swiersek starts a 5-4-3 double play. He steps on third for the final out of the 6th inning. Millard West comes back to bat one final time, looking for some insurance, up 4-2 as we head to the 7th inning. Don't go anywhere. Nick Sainer will be back with the call of the 7th inning on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
4-2, Millard West as we enter the 7th inning. Could this be the final inning of play in the Nebraska high school baseball season? We'll see, Nick, if there's ever a time to empty the tank if you're Paul Shortridge, if there's ever a time to have a competitive at-bat if you're the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in Millard West lineup, it's now.
I mean, you're talking about it, Austin, right? You look up and down this Lincoln East roster, and there's that curiosity of, okay, what does this school and team look like next season? You have Kai Berkey, who's a senior, AJ Avasco, senior, Owen Lasig, senior. You have Carter Mick, senior, Mason Gaines, who's a senior. I'll go down the list continuously that are all seniors. Garrett Springer, also Paul Shortridge. There's multiple guys on this roster that are potentially playing the final inning of their high school career if they don't get 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. This is the time to empty the tank.
Want to shout out Heath, the PA announcer here at Warren Park. Great guy. Really appreciate Heath. Gave us a note. 5,500 in attendance here today.
5,500 folks. That's awesome as Valdivia lines out to center field. So that's out number 1, Valdivia. Now that brings up the third baseman now, Dylan Swiersek. And how about Dylan Swiersek in the field? Contributes to all 3 outs. He got the double play, the 5-4-3 double play started after Van Tyker came into pitch and relieved Sturbins, and then got the 3rd out on a Jeter-worthy ground out, the 5 unassisted. The pitch from Shortridge, a bouncer up the middle, backhanded by Berkey at second, not in time. It gets past Avasco, but a great job backing up by by Jeter Worthley, the catcher. An incredible job by Jeter Worthley. That is why you run the 90 feet, because those 90 extra feet that Millard West could have gotten is big, is crucial here in the final innings.
That was some good glove work by Berkey as well. That had some funky spin. Looked like it hit the lip of the grass in the dirt, and we've seen easier balls mishandled. I'm impressed by Kai Berkey that he got to that and still made a pretty strong throw with his momentum taking him up the middle.
Quick pick over to first. And we'll do it at no balls, no strikes. The hitter, Chance Roberts. This one hit well out to center field. Mason Gaines ranges to his left and makes the catch for out number 2. Second F8 of the inning. And that brings up the catcher, number 4, Sam Kidd.
Kidd's hit the ball hard today, Nick. He had that double that Clokey came in to pinch run for him. Even his fly out to left was pretty well struck last at bat.
No balls, no strikes to Sam Kidd. Paul Shortridge on the bump. That one gets away from Worthy. Incredible read by Dylan Swiersick as he's into second standing.
Again, those 90 feet could end up being crucial because now it's more likely than not that he's able to score on a single.
It's important that Swiersick gets deep on the leadoff so that way he can angle around third base and go straight to home. No wasted steps around that final bag before home plate. Is that one good block in the dirt by Jeter Worthy? It is 2-0. Once again, as Austin said, 5,500 plus officially here at Warner Park for the Class A state championship game.
And it sounds like more.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible crowd from the first pitch on.
This one's not over yet. If you know anything about Lincoln East, certainly not over yet as the 4-2 score, 2-0 pitch taken on the outside corner for a strike. 4-2 your score. Millard West scored 2 in the top of the third, 1 in the top of the fourth, and 1 in the top of the sixth. Lincoln East, 2 runs in the bottom of the fifth. Rather, bottom of the fourth, excuse me. Swiersick's at second. Shortridge on the bump. He throws it to Sam Kidd. Up in the zone. Paul Shortridge, not a fan. He did a little bit of a squat in frustration after that pitch was called a ball. It's 3-1. There is one arm warming up in the Lincoln East bullpen. That Millard West pen is crickets. And they just turned to Nick Van Tyker. 3 balls, 1 strike to Sam Kidd. They'll pick it off, or at least fake the throw over to second base. And we'll step back in. Shortridge looks to Kai Berkey for the signal at second base. So whether or not they want to do a timed pickoff. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The pitch from Shortridge, slide step. This one hit out to center field. Gaines giving it a run into center field. Backpedals and makes the catch for out number 3. So here we go. Lincoln East down to their final 3 outs. They need 2 to keep playing, 3 to walk it off. We'll find out as they will send hitters 2, 3, and 4 up to the plate. It's Kai Berkey, AJ Avasco, and Garrett Springer coming up for Lincoln East when we return on 93.7 The Ticket.
On the block with Strick and Austin.
It's, hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Three feet. I'm Trooper Ollie with the Nebraska State Patrol. Oftentimes, 3 feet is all we have when working on the side of the road. When you come across an emergency vehicle working roadside, Nebraska law requires drivers to move over or slow down if you can't move over. For all of us who perform our jobs on the road, help us out and move over. This message is presented by the Nebraska State Patrol and the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
So here we go as it is the bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman, while we have a moment, just want to say thank you for sticking with us all week long as we brought you state baseball coverage from not only Warner Park, but also Tal Anderson Field. It's been an incredible couple of days. It's been a blast to hang out with Austin, with all the teams, all that stuff. It's been an exciting couple of matchups, and this one has been everything we could have hoped for. It's the bottom of the 7th inning, and we are ready to get going. Nick Van Tyker, the future Creighton Blue Jay, is on the mound, and the number 2 hitter, Kai Berkey, steps in. And we'll have time called at the plate before Van Tyker's first pitch.
Nick, I think it's really important for Lincoln East to remember the way they've scored their runs. They've manufactured them. It hasn't been with power to the gaps. It's been by being patient, right? Lincoln East's objective here is to extend the game. His kid walks back having some issues with his chest protector. But that's why I like having 2, 3, and 4 up here. Berkey, the 2-hole second leadoff guy, good bat control, can see some pitches. You know Avasco is going to be aggressive, but he's done a pretty good job of pitch selection so far. And Springer's approach his last at bat was to jump on a first pitch fastball and take it the other way. So if you're Nick Van Tyker, attack the strike zone, right? Be aggressive. You do have a 2-run cushion to work with. Trust your velocity. Trust your stuff. If you're Lincoln East, make Van Tyker come to you. If he's not going to throw strikes, it's okay to take a pitch, run his pitch count up, and put game pressure on him on the mound.
Millard West having some issues with the pitch communication, the pitch comm in the earpiece of the catcher, Sam Kidd. Now he's seemed to be ready to go, and they get Van Tyker and J.D. Moffitt a drink of water, and we're ready to go. Millard West, they are familiar to this stage. They've won 2 state championships, one in 2019 and one in 2022. They were runner-up in 2021 and 2023. They've been runner-up 9 times, just 2-time state champions, though. Very familiar with the state tournament. They've been here now 26 times. Trying to get their 3rd in program history here tonight. Lincoln East trying to go back-to-back as Kai Berkey takes ball 1. It just feels like this has been too good of a ball game, too closely contested for it to just end without a little bit of drama here as Berkey takes 2 balls, no strikes here. It's 4-2. Lincoln East trailing by 2 in the bottom of the 7th. The 2-0 pitch down Broadway, strike 1. Van Tyker trying not to create any fireworks here. Berkey steps out. Class A state championship game here from Warner Park. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. Up and in, ball 3. Once again, last inning was the first inning that Lincoln East got their leadoff base runner on. Kai Berkey trying to make it 2 in a row as Van Tyker out of the windup. This one hit well up the middle and just outside of the grab of Valdivia at second base. And Kai Berkey hammers the 3-1 fastball up the middle for a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
To me, Nick, that goes back to his timeout after the 2-1 strike. Van Tyker, it's just 1 strike, it's just 1 pitch, but was ready to go. Berkey stepped out, took a ball, and then that's a great approach, 3-1, not trying to do too much.
So now it's A.J. Avasco, the future Kansas State Wildcat, playing in his final game for Lincoln East. The first pitch from Van Tyker, outside, ball 1. A.J. Avasco on the season, 8 home runs, over 55 RBIs, and there's a runner on first. The pitch from Van Tyker, low and inside, ball 2. Nobody is out in the Millard West bullpen. The infield consists of Swiersick at third, Tyson Lewis at short, Valdivia at second, and Moffitt at first. Moffitt started the game on the mound. The 2-0 pitch from Van Tyker. Right down the middle, 2-1. That was a breaking ball that Van Tyker's lucky that A.J. Avasco didn't deposit over a wall.
He was looking fastball 2-0. One pitch, one spot, especially down 2.
2 balls, 1 strike to pitch from Van Tyker. Fastball fouled off, hit well, just foul, left side, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes to A.J. Avasco.
All right, if you're going to go breaking ball here, locate, locate, locate. You leave it loopy over the plate like you did the 2-1 pitch, it's going to travel a ways.
2 balls, 2 strikes. A.J. Avasco in the box. Van Tyker delivers. This one hit to left center field. The left fielder coming over, and he snags it. He almost overran it, but Jake Blackman, was able to slow himself down just enough to reach across his body and snag it. That had some tail to it from A.J. Avasco. A play that was fairly routine that Blackman made difficult.
The wind blowing out to left field pushed it that way, and the natural tail from a left-handed hitter, right? I don't think Blackman accounted for all of that tail. That's why he took maybe an extra step or 2 to the gap. Not a big guy either, right? Not like he has a long wingspan to stretch out and grab that.
1 out, bottom of the 7th. It's the cleanup hitter, Garrett Springer. The first pitch from Van Tyker. Swung on and missed. A nice changeup by Van Tyker. Dropped out of the zone. It's 0-1.
Double play candidate here. You're looking for him to top something if you're Millard West.
Quick pick over to first. Back in time was Berkey.
If you're Berkey, you have to be careful. Your run doesn't mean as much as Springer's.
No balls, 1 strike. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Millard West, 2 outs away from the Class A crown. The runner goes. Springer swings and misses. And safe at second. Kai Berkey is able to slide in safely. Now, what's interesting is the catcher ran into the bat of Garrett Springer, but no call on the field. So it is 0-2. Berkey at second base in scoring position. That was a very close play at second base.
A little surprised they even risked the throw down because that run doesn't mean as much, again, as the tying run in the batter's box right now.
No balls, 2 strikes. Van Tyker comes set at the chest. He fires. Low and away. Great stop behind the plate by Sam Kidd. And it's 1-2. Garrett Springer on the year. Coming into the state tournament, that is, 447 with 8 home runs and 40 runs driven in. Had himself a nice state tournament, Garrett Springer. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Van Tyker comes set, gives second base a glance. Swung on and missed, and Nick Van Tyker strikes out Garrett Springer for out number 2 on a slider, low and away. It was well out of the zone, and he got Garrett Springer to chase for out number 2. So now it's up to Troy Peltz. Troy, a junior, Husker commit in the class of 2025 to play for Will Bolt and company. But right now, trying to score that runner on second base in Kai Berkey. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Van Tyker, pitch, swung on, grounded softly to Tyson Lewis, throws off a 1 foot. It is off the bag. It gets past the first baseman. 1 run will score, and the East Spartans are still alive as they trim it to just a 1-run Millard West lead. Sam Kidd is trying to tell his guys, calm down, stay composed, as now Owen Lasig comes to bat, and it's just a 1-run deficit for Lincoln East.
If you're Tyson Lewis, you maybe keep that one in your back pocket. That's a tough play. Peltz runs acceptably well, right? It was going to be a close play. And as softly as that ball was hit, Lewis did still have to range into the hole to get it a little bit. His momentum taking him away from first base. Now the tying run's on first, 2 down.
So Berkey scores from second. The tying run in the bottom of the 7th is on first. The first pitch of the at-bat to Owen Lasig is a ball, 1-0. That's also one of those where Lewis could have faked the throw, spun around, and looked at third as Lasig hits a liner. Valdivia to first, and Millard West gets their revenge over the Lincoln East Spartans as the number 2 seed in Class A dogpiles by the pitcher's mound. Everybody on Van Tyker, Tyson Lewis, and Valdivia. Steve Fry wins Millard West their third state championship in school history. They knock off the defending state champions Lincoln East Spartans in a close one. 4-3 is your score as Lasig hit it well just right at the second baseman and future Tulane Green Wave baseball player Mike Valdivia. Hugs behind the pitcher's mound in front of second base here at Warner Park as Tyson Lewis, Nick Van Tyker, and a bunch of other seniors for Millard West cap off their career as Class A state champions.
Nick, it's incredible that we got to this point with these two teams. It's hard to make it back to the state tournament year after year. It's hard to, make it back to the title game back-to-back years. So for both of these teams to do that, it's an incredible accomplishment for them. It's tough to get out of bed when you lose in a heartbreaking fashion like Millard West did last year. It's motivating once you get over it. For Lincoln East, the temptation was, hey, we won one. We have this many Division I commits, this many guys going to play college ball. We can coast through Class A because of how talented we are. We didn't see that. We saw two talented teams on the field tonight. Both worked very hard. And I think it's only fitting that these two teams end up splitting the title.
Yeah.
You have the depth of Lincoln East, the top-end star power maybe of Millard West. And to your point, you said it back in the fourth or fifth inning, watch out if one of these errors comes back to bite Lincoln East, right? In a one-run ball game, Lincoln East has 3 errors. The 2-run inning for Millard West started with an error that Nick Van Tyker reached on. And then I believe it was, Sam Kidd ended up hitting that double being pinch ran for. And then it was a single by Jackson Williams with the 2-base throwing error that led to that 4th run that you presciently said might make a difference.
Once again, your final score, Millard West wins 4-3 over the Lincoln East Spartans to capture the Class A crown. For the third time in school history, Millard West is Class A state champions. Lincoln East, their second straight year of making the state title, their first time being runner-up after they fall 4-3 tonight to the Millard West Wildcats. So Millard West back on top of the Class A standings. Incredible careers capped off by both teams. Obviously, you have the Tyson Lewises, the Nick Van Tykers of Millard West, but there's not much you can say that would truly encapsulate what Lincoln East senior class has done for this program, led by head coach Michael Lonick in his 6th season. Not much you could say about AJ Avasco, Carter Mick, obviously going down the list, Kai Berkey, Garrett Springer, Mason Gaines, Paul Shortridge. The list goes on and on about what these seniors for Lincoln East have done for this program, what Coach Lonick and his staff have done to make Lincoln East a powerhouse, not only in Lincoln, but also in the state of Nebraska. They played a really, really talented Millard West team tonight, and they just fell a little bit short.
Let's just go back through the whole day. A 3-2 game in the Class C state championship, a walk-off from Malcolm to win the state title. Norris puts up 5 in the first inning against Gretna East, an experienced Norris program, right?
Yeah.
Let alone team that's been to the state tournament stage time and time again. Gretna East showed that resilience, came through to tie the game up at 7 before Norris exploded in the bottom of the 6th. 2 incredible games to start the day, and we were hoping, we figured we would get a game like this, but it's baseball.
Yeah.
You never know. Would Lincoln East find a way to go back-to-back? Would Millard West, get revenge for how last season ended? We were treated to 3 absolutely spectacular games today. What an incredible textbook, storybook way to end out the baseball season.
Yeah, super exciting as this tournament has been everything we could have hoped for. There was 8 seeds that came close. There were 1 seeds that had scares, and then there was a lot of talent, a lot of really, really, really good talent in the state of Nebraska. And I hope this put the state on notice. Everybody listening at home, put them on notice for what the state of Nebraska has to offer in the Nebraska high school baseball ranks. Once again, your final score in the Class A state championship game, Millard West 4, the Lincoln East Spartans 3. Millard West are your 2024 Class A state champions, while the Spartans, as they're congregating right in front of their dugout in a big circle with Coach Michael Lonick in the center, looking at every single one of them. They are your 2024 Class A state runner-up. Once again, want to thank you guys so much. All the producers. I could go down the list. Bach, Rico, Austin, you, my man, Ben, Harrison, everybody involved for pushing all the buttons throughout the last week or so. Austin, I want to thank you for joining me, my man. This has been a blast. It's so much better product having two guys, two voices, two baseball guys in the press box talking about what's going on in front of us. I want to thank everybody, management at 93.7 The Ticket, DP, Jake, everybody involved, as that puts a cap on our high school broadcasts for the 2024 season. It's been a really, really good football season, basketball season, and now baseball season, as we did every single state baseball game in Class A and B. We did every single class, every single game in state basketball for both boys and girls, and we did every single state football game from Memorial Stadium in every single class. I feel like that's a pretty good thing to kind of hang our hat on here at 93.7 The Ticket, as nobody else does high school coverage like we do, and we appreciate you tuning in all day, all week, every single year. So a lot more to come, but once again, one final time, signing off from Warner Park for the 2024 Class A Boys State Baseball Tournament. Millard West knocks off Lincoln East 4-3. The Wildcats are your 2024 Class A state champions.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.